Alright, so,
Hang on.
in Don't Trust the Dungeon Master, in our last episode, our party found themselves exploring a subterranean expanse beneath the Medan Mountains, where they found a circular room caked in ash. Upon investigating, the party discovered a dwarf code that they cracked, which sprung to life an inanimate statue. The statue barreled over our group and headed towards a perceived dead end where it thrashed open a hole in the wall. Our party crept into this new entryway and descended further down into the mountain. They found a deep pitfall with a ladder and began traversing down such ladder, where they were attacked by a winged creature. Kawak, our Kenku, unfortunately was knocked loose from the ladder and plummeted to theoretical death. We heard him screaming and falling off into the darkness. Our adventurers looked for the Kenku, but the only thing they found was his splintered bow upon the rock bed down below. The group finds a path and works their way down it before running into several small stone buildings swarming with arachnoids. Not everyone was willing to venture through the nest, but their dialogue was picked up by the spiders and they were eventually attacked. Evan unleashed a torrent of flame and incinerated a good chunk of the approaching swarm, scaring the survivors away. Our party began exploring the ancient structures and found a few belongings, as well as a giant spider matriarch, which Roger tore asunder through a void bolt. With that, that's pretty much where our party kind of left off. Aniele was attempted to be carted away, but we saved her.
Yeah, she was just waking up.
You cleansed the poison that was pretty much incapacitating her, and then you freed her from her incredibly sticky and sturdy spiderweb binds. She's actually going to fucking heal herself again right now because I didn't realize that she was still as hurt as she was. So we're gonna go throw one of these in there.
Weren't we discussing we were gonna rest soon?
Yes.
We were debating it, yes. Which is why I think that she didn't heal more, but I could be wrong.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
I think we were like already going to bed, were we?
No.
No.
Because I
But
refused to
the
stay
thing-
by whatever
Yeah,
the
she
fuck this
refused
shit
to
is.
sleep in
Oh,
those
that's
bedrooms.
right.
I wanted to move away from this area before I sleep.
Yeah. You were completely right. Forgot about that.
Okay, so Aniele will then, at this moment, touches herself and throws another healing spell with a Cure Wounds upon her person. You see a lot of the wounds close up. There's a little bit of cuts and scrapes, so she's got a little bit of lingering damage, but it's substantially better, and she seems to be more upbeat. So now here you guys are. You have moved a little bit. No, actually, this is the Spider Matriarch. You're technically still next to the dead Spider Matriarch, which I don't know why the token's not there. Let's go grab it. Well, whatever, So you're next to this giant dead spider. That's not even really a spider anymore. Oh, that's why we removed it, because Danielle doesn't like looking at it. But it's art. You're okay, right, Al? It's not actually a threat to you? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, the thing's dead. It's not trying to kill anyone. Half of its body has been torn asunder, and it's just basically a pile of, beat-up legs at this point.
Did someone collect stuff from it?
No one has attempted to do
Someone
such
was
yet.
going to. Castle was supposed to go.
The castle was supposed to be attempted to.
Alright, so yes, you guys are currently in this cave network. There is a ceiling, but it's a good 50 to 70 feet above you. You do see some lingering spider webs at the cusp of your vision. There's several stone structures behind you. It's relatively wider-ish. I mean, I wouldn't say it's substantially wider than the road you're on right now. We're talking that the expanse is probably 150 feet wide currently in this little flat area you're in. Behind you is the ramp that you basically descended with. If you went back further, you would eventually have gotten to where you got to that T intersection where there's a riverbed, and then there is basically the cliff, and you chose to go on the cliff face. And that's currently where we're at. So, Orc, you want to go ahead and try to harvest something? What do you want to harvest? Or what do you want to try to do, I guess?
I would like to harvest venom. Like, can I tell if it's poison? Who cares? Let's just try and harvest it.
Sure. So, as you looked for the creature for venom, you started with its head, and its head is so racked by that spell.
Its head got fucked.
Yeah, its head. It's basically like it's like a black hole kind of moving forward and just sucked everything in, and its head got pretty much fucked up in the process too. So its back, it's like a plasma rail laser going right through its back, and it's carving a concave like like a cylinder out of it.
I'm gonna kick it and I'm gonna spit and say stupid piece of shit. Didn't
Alright.
anything anyway.
Haname is going to laugh at you. Because I'm playing Haname right now. Because I get to play a player pick.
It's time to get handsy.
Oh boy.
Or it's gonna pull Bill Clinton.
Oh shit.
What, I'm gonna diddle her with a cigar?
What? Oh boy.
Alright, so back to the. We're gonna go focus. Before this goes way off base. So, yeah. So there's no venom from its face. Anything else you guys want to do with the spider body here?
I'm gonna poke around its butthole to see if there's any like webs like dribbling out. Cause
There is definitely still some partial like web that's sort of solidifying as it's coming in contact and intermixing with the air molecules. So I'm sure if you carved up the butt, you could get some and hopefully bottle it before it gets too much air exposure.
No, I'm not gonna bottle it. I'm gonna use it to attach a vial of alchemical fire and vial of alchemical acid to a couple bolts.
So effectively you're going to try to tinker one of your vials of fire, one of your vials of alchemical acid to two different bolts. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So this is a tinker check, and I mean, honestly,
Hey, it's our first tinker check.
this is going to be now, I would rank you roll intelligence normally, but this is pretty straightforward, so actually, this is going to be a strength, because you're trying to move this sticky substance without it solidifying, and it's going to be kind of resisting you. So it's actually a strength tinker check. So roll a d20.
Would it be dexterity to make sure I don't get stuck by it? I mean, that's fine.
I'm doing strength because I feel like you're actually kind of, like you're trying to pull it apart, and you're pulling strands of it, and you have to have enough strength.
I realized it wasn't worth arguing.
So, strength it is. Roll a d20, add proficiency, and add strength, and we'll see how well you accomplish. We'll start off with the vial of fire, is what we'll do first.
Okay, vial of fire, rolling strength is +2, and we end up with a 15.
Okay, so you manage to. So, are you trying to have it like dangle underneath the bolt, or are you trying to like wrap it around the bolt? What are you trying to do?
At the head, right? So I'm like basically dipping the arrowhead or the bolt head in the web and attaching the vial to the end of it.
All right,
So it impacts when the bolt hits.
Sure. So you, with your 16, you accomplished. You're not certain how successful it will be, but you have produced said device. You have a vial that's currently wrapped around the head of it. If the trajectory hits, the glass will shatter at the same time that the bolt impacts, basically.
Cool. Sounds good. Okay, and then acid, here we go. Rolling, that's an 18. 18 total.
Alright, so you have a... No, this is more than 18, man. Your proficiency bonus is +3.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right, yeah. So the other one wasn't a 16, that was a... what did I roll, a 12?
You rolled. I don't know. It added up to 15 when you did it.
Oh, okay. Then I only added 2, so I rolled a 13. Okay, 13, 16, 18 was the first one.
Alright, which just doesn't change it, but this one will be over 20. So this one is remarkably better. So what I would say is add a vial bolt ? And then I would have just your normal. And then I would have a acid vial bolt, but without the question mark. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
You gotta mention it has
The question mark is very important. Please keep that
I'm
in mind.
firing a fire vial bolt?
Pretty much.
a bolt of vial fire. Yes.
Alright, so you guys see Oric, and he's currently near the spider's butt as he's pulling strands of this like liquid out that you see it starting to solidify, and eventually you see him like wrapping it around his bolt, and eventually he has produced like almost like Link looting a brand new item from a chest from Legend of Zelda. He flips it above his head, dun 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 dun, and he has these two devices that he's more or less tinker.
Were they floating? Damn it!
You have proficiency in tinkering tools, right? I'm pretty sure you do.
I do.
Okay, cool, good. That
We
changed.
traded thieves' tools for that.
Ah, right. All right. So, anyone else have anything they would like to do?
I'm going to walk over to the corpse of the spider and take the cursed sword and look at it. I hope that I did give you some peace. And I'm going to push it into the spider and leave it.
Okay. As you try to let go of the sword, make a charisma saving throw.
4 plus 11, that's 15.
Alright. Your hand does not let go of the blade, and you pull the sword back out with the sword still in hand.
Wait,
Doma turns and faces the rest of their group, and you see him swallow, and he blinks a few times before he then sheathes the sword on. Well, puts it like in his belt because there's not actually a sheath for it. And he then kind of folds his arms, and he just postures himself up against the stone next to you guys, waiting for you to move about your business.
Damn.
A lot of choices for Doma,
Aren't I? Isn't he? I don't know who's doing what.
I have no idea what just happened.
Well, you saw Doma walk up to the spider, he stabs it with the sword, and then he wipes the sword clean, and then he puts in his belt, and then he kind of now is back leaning against the stone surface.
Does he do that?
Yes, he literally is now leaning against the stone surface as he's looking at all of you with just quiet.
Rip. Rip, rip, rip. I'm a ghost person now.
Anything else you guys would like to do?
I'd like to cry a little. So I was just trying to help
You
the
attempt
ghost
to
person.
cry, but no tears come.
Oh boy. Wow. Doma's not doing shit.
That was
Okay.
a 15 too. This DC was higher than I thought it was.
Can I do like a general perception check? I just want to take inventory. Like, are there any other buildings further in that we haven't?
So as you when you look around the area, yeah, there are a couple more buildings down. 2 of them have turned into rubble. You wouldn't be able to explore them, but there's a couple more that you could kind of poke around with if you would like to do an investigation check as you want to go explore it. I'll let one person give you advantage, basically. So go and just roll with advantage. I'm assuming the group kind of helps you together, so roll with advantage for it.
General investigation.
Got this.
Let's see, 13 plus investigation is 5, so I'm at 18. And 15. 18 total.
Alright, so overall, the buildings that are somewhat intact or partially collapsed, what you see inside is pretty much similar to what you've seen elsewhere. It seems to there seem to be a lot of shelving that's kind of collapsed and broken over time. The wood planks rotting. You see broken pots and what appeared to have been some kind of organic material, probably from long ago. Now like a black tar that's been exposed for air for who knows how long. It smells terrible in there, of mildew, of mold, of bacteria. None of the items in any of these areas seem necessarily valuable, as they just have been rotted away with time. You do find one thing, though.
What's my one thing?
And 1 second, please. You said it was an 18 is what you rolled?
15, yeah. Give me my thing, Lars. Give it to me, give it to me.
Alright, so you find one pot
So messed up.
without anything in it, just a normal pot. Seems to be made out of, like, a ceramic or a clay. It seems to have some kind of pictures engraved on it, / painted on it, I guess. And that's like the only thing that seemed to have not been just
What are
utterly
the
destroyed.
pictures?
It is of 2 figures, effectively symmetrical. They're actually aimed to face each other. You can't actually look at both of the figures at the same time because they're on the exact opposite side of the pot. They're in thick black ink. They're very geometric, so it's kind of like block people. One's looking to the left, the other's looking to the right. So theoretically, their gazes meet in a spot between them, which you can't actually see that spot, but whatever. Right? So it's there somewhere on the pot, and they kind of are almost doing what I would say is
The mock
like.
dragon.
Yeah, well, no, like the Pharaoh dance, they have like one hand forward, one hand back. It's a 2-dimensional drawing. They appear to be 2 hairy individuals, potentially dwarf.
Can I tell is this dwarf and art?
They look like dwarves, so I'll just give it to you. It looks like it's some kind of dwarven art or something on it.
As I run out, I'm like, guys, I found dwarf pottery.
That's great. Aren't we in the Medan?
Are we ready to go?
I
Your
smash it
shenanigans
on the ground,
over,
look-
Doma tells you.
I smash it on the ground and say, dang, there's no rupees.
You break the pot, it cracks and cracks against the ground, and no rupees appear.
Wait, what did Doma say?
Doma said, "Are you ready to go? Or your shenanigans over?" Basically.
I'm ready.
And I come, yeah.
Okay.
I've already walked away a bit down the tunnel. Like, not that far, just like a couple steps.
You're like edging away from the spiders.
Sure.
Basically.
All right. So you guys start venturing down the pathway. Doma takes point. He seems to be moving forward at a relatively brisk pace, faster than most of you are going. Seeming with purpose as he moves down the path, and he's just going down there, and you make your utterance to him, and he turns. Something wrong. We should get going.
What's the rush? What? Are you okay?
What rush? What are you talking about? We need to get going. It's gonna get dark soon. They'll come out.
Man, I'm saying stuff I don't know.
What do you mean, Doma?
Doma?
Don't you guys know anything? They'll come out if we don't get to where we need to be very soon.
Oh, yeah, sure, but, I mean, you're acting kind of weird, dude.
I don't think this is Doma.
Oh, I put that together, but,
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm me. Of course I'm me. What kind of preposterous? Do you see me? Here I am. He's waving his hand to you right now.
Hi, guys. Waving my hands.
Carry on.
I'm gonna follow.
I guess.
All right. So then he turns back around and starts walking down at the same pace he was previously. And you,
Where are we going, Doma?
oh, we have to head this way, of course. It's the only way to go. But not too far, much further ahead, there will be a fork in the road. We'll go left. He says to you guys.
What's to the left?
He makes no reply. He just keeps walking ahead. Do you wish to follow?
I grab him by the arm and kind of spin him around and say, Doma, look, what's going on?
We have to go. We need to get there quickly, or
Get where?
well, to Medan, of course.
I'd like to make an insight check. And
Go
see-
ahead. Feel free to roll.
Yeah. Do that. I was gonna do that, so.
Oh, right. I just
Don't do it.
figured I needed to
You
do
know
that.
nothing.
There's only two player characters that can even do this right now, by the way, because I'm not making
well, it's just like, I mean,
NPCs do.
obviously, like, out of character, since you're playing his character, I know something's up. But
Right, I know, of course. It would be great if Haname was here, but no, they couldn't show up when I tried to do stuff for the party, because my writing's worthless, right?
I got an 11.
Wait, where's Roderick? Why hasn't he said anything?
Did he leave and we just
13 for my
Because I literally just thought, wait, there should be a third person. Who is it? And I'm looking at the table, and I'm like, wait, where's Roderick? Where the fuck is
Roderick.
Roderick? He hasn't said anything the entire time. Is he still alive?
Apparently not.
Petite?
He's texting me like on Discord, so I know he's there.
See, we can't hear you if you're talking.
Maybe he stepped away.
Maybe. Alright, so we'll just hope it's nothing terrible. So
Okay,
we'll...
I ended up with 13.
Are 13?
Good.
And what'd you roll,
They're
Oric?
not using
11.
my typical speech patterns as far as I can tell.
You're looking for a reason to, like, that he seems off, and he does seem off, but you're not really certain what it is. He never alerted you guys about what he found, and nothing seems to stand. The sword doesn't seem to stand out.
What are you talking about? They were all there and I told them about it.
Can we
Roderick was there when you told him about it.
Fun steak, Roderick.
And he's not present.
Wait, Castle, you said you inspected the sword, right? The sword is exposed right now?
Oh, that's right. He did. He did. Okay.
I'm the one that identified it. I know that.
But even
And
then,
it's bad as shit,
your roll was so
so-
poor that I can't relate. You
No,
wouldn't.
it was a good roll. It's
You
just an
feel he's
identifier.
off, and it might just be the environment you're in. Is probably your more rational sphere. Like, you just fought a giant spider, and maybe he's uncomfortable with spiders. He just is not willing to say it. Unlike Evelyn, who's willing to show it clear.
So I'm okay with him, like, magically knowing which way White Medan is.
Right.
Well, it definitely seems
That's what I'm
off,
saying.
but there's not.
That's what I'm saying.
You can logically put that together, even with an 11. Like, I don't have to be retarded.
And I would definitely know, obviously, the sword is some bad shit if it's this. I mean, I'm not stupid. I would put 2 and 2 together. That is probably the sword, which is why I would ask Castle about the sword, because he looked at it.
All right.
I didn't look at it.
Well then,
It's interesting.
go ahead.
Gonna question it. It'll lead you nowhere.
Well, but
I'm
You
gonna,
couldn't-
No, I'm not defending the sword. You guys do you.
when he responds, I'm gonna pull Evelyn aside and be like, look, something's going on. Like, that sword was cursed, and
Did you know
How does he-
I thought I had a bad feeling from it.
no, I knew
But-
that with an Arcana check, I knew that there was something bound to it.
But Oric, how does he know the Winged Madame? That doesn't make any sense.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, he's magically, like, saying all kinds of weird things. I don't
Should we take it away from him?
I
Can
don't
we take it away from him?
know if we can.
Can you take it away from
What
me?
options do we have? I mean, we have any kind of, like,
I could try to mage hand it so that I don't have to touch it.
I think we should.
The real question is, am I hearing
We
you?
should talk to.
No, we stopped. We kind of slowed down behind you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm walking at a brisk pace.
I think we should talk to.
Roderick?
No.
Aniele?
Check. Yeah, you know, thank you.
The angel chick?
Like,
Man, she must feel confident in your friendship.
Sorry.
She's just awkwardly standing behind you.
I'm in the middle of getting ready to pop popcorn. I'm just super excited. Okay.
Yeah, I think we should try to get it away from him, though. I really don't know that we should
Well,
even look at this.
I do too, but I think Aniele, like at this point, something's taking over his body, whether or not it's with a sword. It's like it's giving him information, it's talking to him. I don't know how much he's being influenced. If she has something that would like help us free
Cut it off.
influence, it might
Yeah.
be.
Well, at least we're aware of it. I mean,
Yeah, I think we should proceed cautiously. We talk to Aniele kind of like on the way quietly.
All right, so you pull her back and you kind of yank her backwards as Roderick and Haname keep moving forward.
well,
Roderick, I believe,
so
is
Oric
talking about
said-
Haname about some things that he found in the houses back there. So you hear him kind of muttering something. They're talking about their speculations, and Doma's just going straight forward. And every now and then he has to stop and turn around and see you guys. Not with him. He kind of sighs. Oh, can we hurry up? He gestures towards you guys, but you.
Oh, Roderick's back?
The real question is, how does
No,
he-
he's not. That's just what his character with his. Because now I have to control fucking 4 things.
Everybody? Okay.
Um,
Okay, so,
Okay, okay, for the next one,
before Oric
I
walks
just
away,
remembered I had something come up.
before Oric walks away, Oric,
Yeah.
I think he said something about it had transmutation magic. Is that what you said you saw with sword?
what? I'm sorry. What sword? What are you talking about?
Aniele never saw the sword.
Yeah, I think Roderick is the one that.
I think it was
Roderick
Roderick.
knows it all.
No, you're right. It was Roderick. Shit. Okay, never mind. Carry on.
Wait, you're not gonna ask the angel?
Sorry, Oric.
Okay.
Oh, he's going to ask right now.
You've pulled her back, and Doma just now has started resuming walking, so this would be the safe time to talk.
Hey, Aniele.
Yes.
Have you ever dealt with, or like, what kind of resources do you have to deal with, like, possession, or like spirits, or curses? Like, I know that you're really good at healing. I can tell that you're, very powerful, very radiant kind of base being. And I think we've got something kind of dark affecting one of the party members.
Well, I can, if it's undead, I can try to turn it, but let you be warned that I'm nowhere near as powerful as I once was. So it might not be turned. Who do you suspect?
Honestly, I think Domo's got something kind of going on with him. Like, he suddenly knows which way it is to Medan. He's walking around like he knows how these caves are. Like, it's really concerning. It's really abnormal.
Good.
He
I'm
knows about
mostly
those-
confused.
Wait, Warwick, maybe we should use this. Maybe we should see if he knows anything about that bat or whatever the hell that was that attacked us. Maybe he knows something about it.
I agree. I think we ride this out and we see where it goes. But I also want to have a plan.
Right. Well, let's.
I'm not disagree. I don't think we fix it right now.
Right. No, I agree.
Especially
If he knows the way to the van. Okay, so we'll follow him for now. Let's ask him if maybe he knows about that other thing.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do that.
Alright, so if you want me to do something, just let me know. A symbol or a single or, I don't know.
I'll say, giddy up cowboy. Really
Alright, and
Really?
you want me to try to turn it?
Butterscotch.
Yeah.
Okay, giddy up
Man,
cowboy.
Really want a butterscotch.
No, butterscotch. Not cowboy.
Alright, so if you say butterscotch, I'll do it. If he says giddy up cowboy, I'll do it. Got it.
Jesus Christ.
What should Roderick say?
What should I say is the real question.
And at this moment, you guys actually hear Roderick as he sneezes. Ugh, God, I feel like someone's talking about me.
If only he was here.
Anyways, man, you should check out these 2 books I found out in the ruins over there. They seem to be talking about things.
Wait, who said that? Sorry, Roderick.
Roderick says it to Haname. Right, I have to control Haname too. That's so interesting, Roderick. Please tell me more.
Jesus Christ.
At this moment, Doma turns around. Can we get going, please? He's getting impatient. He's tapping his foot against the floor.
Yeah.
What's your problem? Roderick remarks.
It's like you own the place.
We just gotta get going. We don't have much time.
What are we in such a rush for? Can you like give us some details?
Don't you said we're going to Medea, correct?
Yes, we have to go here. It's gonna be another, couple hours before we finally hit the ramps, but...
I have a question. Do you know a lot about the creatures that live down here?
I mean,
Obviously, it's my favorite
a
drink.
little, I suppose. What are you curious?
Well,
He's turned his back away from you. He's now facing you, and he's like trying to walk with his back turned away from you guys.
we were attacked by this large bat-like thing, and we're just trying to figure out what it was and where it might be exactly.
There's lots of those. He seems to have a sigh of relief after that. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of those down here, right? I mean, there's not just gonna be just one. They probably just feed on stragglers and.
It's like a big ass bat.
Like, it's huge. Like, it ate a person, we think.
Yeah, well, I mean, I saw it just like you guys saw it, and it's huge. But I mean, there's got to be more of these things out here, of course.
Do you know where they nest?
How would I know where they nest?
I guess. Oh, no.
Well, you know how to get them Medea, so I was just
Well, I'm not from Medan. I'm you see him like looking down at his person. I'm from in a paladin order. I know things. I know. I've seen maps of this area before. I know how it works. Haven't you guys seen maps of this area before?
Yeah, nice try, buddy. Nice try.
Are you insinuating something? He narrows his eyes towards Auric.
No, I'm just saying, like, I mean, those bat things are, like, kind of weird, don't you think? I like shift my gaze.
Yeah, they are kind of weird, but that seems to be a natural creature here. I don't feel like it's unnatural.
How am I feeling in all this? Am I just like, is it dark for me?
It is. You basically are pulled like third-person perspective, but you don't actually leave your own skull. You're just way in the back of your mind, your cranium, basically. And it's a very far distant view, and you can barely hear what's being said, and you can kind of see like a small little projector of what your body's seeing, and you're like probably screaming, "No, stop! What's going on?" kind of thing. But you just can't seem to get your conscious back to the front of your head. What's happening? Yeah.
I just give Auric a knowing.
Welcome back, Roderick. God damn it! So much has happened. We needed you.
Roger, you
Jesus.
bastard!
I'm sorry, everyone. I had it was a personal call.
All right, that's cool, dude. All right, so here's what's happened because this was really awkward
Bad
for
things
me.
have happened.
I feel like why do I even
explosion?
No, so
Maybe.
effectively Doma tried
Soon
to
enough.
let go of the sword and he failed his check and now he's effectively metagame knowledge he's possessed is what it comes
He's
down to.
being piloted.
I failed it with a 15. It's a high DC.
So our group has basically started moving down away from the town, and Doma's taking charge, and he's going at a very quick
He
pace.
knows how to get to Medan. Put it that way.
He's going at a very quick pace, faster than you guys, and you're struggling to keep up to him. You currently are talking to Hanane about possessions that you guys looted in the town. You heard some whispering from Auric and Evelyn behind. They seemed to have grabbed Aniele and they were kind of talking, but you were two in your conversation with Haname about the things you found in the little town that you were just in that you weren't really paying attention to it. And now at this moment, the group stops as Auric and Evelyn are more or less accusing something of Doma. They're suspicious.
No, I was not accusing. I was asking him about local wildlife, if he knew anything.
And, okay, Auric is practically
noticed
accusing something.
spiders that they would come back out in the dark, but it's always dark down here.
Did I say something about spiders coming back out?
So at this moment, your conversation with Haname is interrupted, and you basically see Auric and Doma are now like staring at each other. They're like squinty-eyed, looking at each other. As, like one throws a statement like, "No, duh, that's what's supposed to be happening." The other one basically is, "Yeah, what's going on?" Like they're kind of in this standoff-ish situation.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He said it comes out when it's dark. Is that what you said, Doma? Well, Laris?
Yeah, so
It comes out
Doma
when
made
it's
two
dark?
statements, which I don't think Roderick would have heard because he wasn't present, but I mean, you could
Well, I
reiterate
said
now.
it pretty loud.
Yes, but he was in a conversation with Haname, so it's for his
Yeah, so it was a
clemency,
conversation.
to make it easy for the environment, because for the love of God, I just want to move on again. You didn't quite catch what he said, but if Evelyn Org would like to reiterate it, we could move from there. So, at this moment, your conversation with Haname stops, you stop walking, Doma stops walking, everyone stops moving. Auric and Doma are currently staring at each other eye to eye, but they're still like 20 feet away from each other, and Doma seems to be fidgeting awkwardly.
Can I ask one question before that?
Can we reiterate what he said, the two statements he made? I'm sorry.
Well, I meant like in character. You want me just to tell you,
Let me
or
ask first though, was there any rest of any kind?
No.
No. I started walking.
Of course, Doma starts. Of course, there's going to be creatures like that down here. I mean, I saw it, you saw it, we all saw it. It's huge, yes, but I mean, they're going to feed on stragglers, and I mean, that's unfortunate when that happens. And but anyways, we should get going. We need to.
What comes out in the dark? You just think about something out in
Oh
the dark.
well, I'm just thinking that there's going to be more of those giant spiders. We need to get moving. They seem to, we should.
Well, hold on. So, quick question. I'm a
That was the most ramshackle thing that I've ever seen put together with my own words.
I'm not even going to require insight. Yes, there's something definitely wrong at this point, okay? Totally just off the dialogue. It's evident that something's wrong with Doma.
No, like really quick. Sorry, I'm super lost, and obviously, like you know exactly where we are.
I feel like I'm being like interrogated here. He puts his hand up to his chest. Like, I mean, we just need to get going, guys. It's not safe. We should get moving.
Doma, I'm just trying to remember which way was it that, like, where did we see the bat? I don't remember which way that was.
And you see him looking around, trying to puzzle where he is for a moment, and then you see him just point back the way you came back there. Of course.
All right, that's it. And I walk up to him. I just storm up to him and I grab him by the collar.
All right. So as you start walking up to him, he starts taking steps away from you, so you can't actually catch up to him. So you're basically you were so far away that your aggression was easily noted before you even reached him, and he's keeping 10 feet between you.
So I trigger Long Strider in my boots.
Okay.
And
I thought you already used that. Can you use it more than once?
I don't think I did.
Oh, yeah.
I infused it. I don't think I used
He
it.
infused it, which will last 8 hours, 24 hours, whatever the fuck it is.
Good,
And now
Auric,
you can trigger it.
Auric.
It's too late.
Let's
He's
get
already
to
done
the
it.
end
He's already done it. And
before we deal with this.
he's already
I'll
triggered
just
it.
say it as it's happening. That's what I just say as it's happening. As he starts
Okay.
walking, I'm like, let's just.
No, that's
It's
fine.
too late,
That's fine.
obviously, but
That's
I'm
fine.
still gonna say it.
Yeah, I
Okay,
grab
go
him,
ahead.
I pull him in real close and I say, "Help me, God."
Well, so hold on, Auric. Before you get there, as you're moving,
Yeah,
Evelyn says what?
Auric, let's just get to Medan before we deal with anything.
But at this moment, you're now like moving quickly at Doma, and Doma just turns and starts sprinting as fast as he can away from you.
Rip.
Doma!
So at this moment, you just see Doma bolt down this direction you're basically heading, and he's going incredibly quick, as fast as he can go, which is 60 feet every 6 seconds. And Oric, you are faster than him, so you do actually catch up to him, but you do leave the rest of the group a good, I guess it'd be about 2 turns behind you before you would actually like grab a hand on him. Of course, he's going to resist, but I mean, so effectively, Doma and Oric are 2 turns ahead of everyone else. They're 120 feet away from you guys, which you're now pursuing at a more of a joggish pace, I'm assuming, unless you want to sprint. Yes? No? Questions? Anyone?
I'm moving as fast as I can to keep up.
All right. So then, effectively, you'll basically be around here. Haname would be around. Haname is going to stay back and just do like a jog pace. So she's not moving flat out sprint. She's running her 30 feet per turn. So she'll be back here. Aniele will be with her. All right. So you land. You're Oric. You reach your hand forward and you clasp Doma's shoulder. What do you try to grab?
Yeah, I'll just try and grab his shoulder and like pull him in, like so
Alright.
he's face to face.
Make an athletics check as you try to grab him.
Alright.
Do I get a roll? Of course not.
You get to
Larry.
roll for me to defend yourself. So acrobatics or athletics, please choose your best. Do the one that you would to avoid this conflict.
Okay, so my worst. No, I'm just kidding. Fucking athletics or acrobatics?
Yes, whatever's stronger. Which yours is probably athletics.
Yeah, it's athletics.
So Oric roll athletics, and you get to choose acrobatics or athletics to avoid the grapple.
You said athletics? Sorry.
Yes, you have to use athletics, Oric.
No.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I am very dexterous, I must say. That's a 25.
Ouch, yeah, fuck me.
Alright, so Oric, as you reach out to like grab onto his shoulder, your hand actually touches firm, but as soon as you get there, Doma turns and he just shoves you back, and you actually fall back a couple steps. You don't fall to the ground, but he then starts bolting to the left a little bit more. He's trying to get a diagonal against you. He gains some more distance. You have to start running after him, catch up to him again. At a moment that effectively in another 6 seconds, once again, you're effectively at the point where you would basically be able to try to grab him again. Would you like to do such?
Well, okay, we can do this a lot. Sure, yep, okay. I'm just like, God damn it, you little faggot. And I roll and I
That's
get
a rude statement.
15.
I rolled higher than you.
Alright, so once again, it's the same time, and this time he actually kicks you back, and you fall on your butt, and Doma just shoots down the path, and he actually
You're
breaks...
trying to fight me with the wrong thing, man.
At this point,
At this point, I just yell at him. I'm like, look, I don't give a damn who you are, and I don't really give a damn what you're trying to do with Doma. As long as nobody gets hurt, like, I'm fine going to McDan and taking you there. God help me, if anybody in my group gets hurt, you will pay a price.
so he's basically at the very edge of your vision. Like, even though you don't have dark vision, there's a little bit of light kind of from these crystals here and there, and so that's at the cusp, and he stops and he turns and you see him, he's panting. He is winded. Make a persuasion roll.
Oh my god. Yes, do that against me, please.
It's not using your persuasion, it's using the entity's persuasion, by the way. I mean, it's its own defense, not yours. It's a mental. Woo, boy!
Come on, use my defense, please.
12? You said persuasion? I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit.
Yeah, it would be persuasion, because you're not trying to deceive it, you're trying to convince it with honest intentions, correct? 12? Doma turns to you, you start sitting up, and he just takes a step out of your vision, and he blends in the shadows. And he vanishes from your view.
Doma did?
Doma broke line of sight. You have no idea where Oric has no idea where he is. Doma, roll stealth for me, please.
Stealth. What is my stealth? It is +1.
Oh god, you're so fucking cut. This is not the thing that should have fucking...
I rolled a 4.
Alright, so you have a 5.
There it is.
Alright, so Doma's like blends off in the shadows. Oric, you sit up and you get up and you start running off in that direction you last saw him. As you run over there, you know, it's actually like 6 seconds. You may make a perception roll against the fucking 4.
Yeah, 18.
Alright, so at this moment you see like a shadow like dart off to the right, and it's going down. It's just pretty much down one path. It doesn't really branch off. You hear footsteps behind you. You know your group is catching up to you. But you do see a shadow jump off towards the right, and you're free to
As
chase
I
it.
pursue, I light a torch.
Alright, so you light a torch, and now you're chasing after it. Alright.
And I shout out to the group, "This way, hurry, he's trying to get away."
And so Evelyn and Roderick, you guys see this like orange flight come up, and you barely hear his yell to basically this way, as to see the little orange orb float off towards the right, towards a direction you weren't familiar with at first. Do you guys wish to pursue the orb?
Larry, so you doing something that requires a lot of internet right now? Because your
Yeah,
mic's
it's kinda-
robotic.
It's not just me, okay, good.
Yeah, he's really
Like,
laggy.
it's roboting pretty bad.
Okay, so at this point, Doma is invisible? Stealth?
He's running.
I rolled a 4.
He's-
You can probably find me.
He's stealth, but you would have to know where to look in the first place. Orc has an idea, but you guys don't. You see Orcs, at least this little orange orb. Am I still lagging?
No, you're good.
Alright, you see a little orange orb. It's like 120 feet away from you, basically. And you see it dart off the right, and you hear, just with a little bit of your hearing, that you hear basically say, "Follow me," and the orb starts moving off towards the right. Would you like to follow the orange light towards the right?
Yes.
Alright, so Roderick agrees
I'm
to...
following Roderick. Yeah,
Alright,
that's
so
fine.
then you guys there...
Robert yell, "Haname, use the dancing lights to keep it on us, on our so you can we're leading."
Okay, and she throws 2 dancing lights, one on each of your guys' back. Just stay within 10 feet of each other, and now she's sprinting to catch up with you guys, and Aniele's doing the same, so now you guys are effectively a unit. Wherever you would like to go, which I know you're going to the right, after Auric, basically, and Auric is now going this way, off of Doma. So Auric, you run out there with your torch, and you're looking for Doma. You may go ahead and roll again to see if you see him once again. Doma, once again, you could have effectively stealthed, so...
With my 18.
You saw the shadow in the first place. You were at a disadvantage in the beginning, so that you... Because you had to sit up to finally reorientate. So you were able to figure out which way he ran, but you just haven't caught him, basically. Doma, roll stealth again. Auric, roll perception again.
Got an 8 perception.
That was a 7.
7. Okay, so at this moment,
Do I have advantage because I have light?
you're 8. You beat him anyways.
Okay.
So at this moment,
Yeah, you managed
You-
to leave it.
as you find yourself coming towards a wall, and you're like, well, shit, I swore I saw something run this direction. So you take paces forward, and you kind of are putting the torchlight close to the wall, and you're trying to see where he could be hiding, and then you hear a rock pebble like scattered to the left. You look to your left, and you see Doma, and he's currently crouching behind a rock, trying to break vision. Your eyes and his eyes meet, and you hear him say, "Shit!" As he then jumps up on the rock and then runs back the way he came. He's now running this way. At this moment, Evelyn... no, because you were... I'll try to draw this.
It's fine. At this point, if he's trying, I can tell, right? Like, he's actively trying to get away from us.
Yes, so effectively, like this, he jumps up the rock and he starts running back this way. At that moment,
Well,
Evelyn...
restraining him is what got us into this mess.
Evelyn and Roderick, with their dancing lights, clearly get in his vision, and then he basically ends up being pincered between the two of you, and then he takes it 2 steps back, he looks, turns around, and he sees you're not too far away, and then effectively he's now surrounded.
Don't
Okay.
order our rabid animals.
Stop. Everybody, stop.
Oh god.
Doma, well, whoever you are, since I don't think you're Doma at this point in time, we need to get to Medan.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry for my friend
That's
over
what
there.
I was just trying to say in the first place.
Still
We
there.
just need to get to Medan.
You're sorry for me trying to protect my friend from whoever this is.
I'm Domo. Can't you tell?
Help me understand. Help me
He's
understand.
definitely not dumb. He's not that skittish.
Well, it was like you guys were like possessed and you were going to kill me, and I was afraid. So, I kind of bolted for it, but right. Well, I mean,
We're possessed.
that's what I thought. I felt like you guys were trying to.
Possessed.
Yeah,
Why would you assume that?
cause he swallows heavily.
Okay.
Look, all right. I'll level with you. We gotta get to
Yeah.
Medan, guys. We gotta get to Medan. Like, it's not safe out here. Can we just go, please?
That's great. Let's go to Medan.
Excellent. I think
On the
it's.
way, you can tell us. On the way, you can tell us who you are.
I'm Doma.
Yeah, please,
I'm
please.
a human paladin.
Wrong race.
You're talking about? I'm clearly human. Don't you see this blonde hair? And he gestures and like waves it around.
I can't tell. I love it.
Haname kicks in.
yeah.
Doma, we
Alright,
know you're
so-
not a human. We know you're a tiefling. That right, tiefling human. That's the same thing.
Not even close.
Can we get you to just sit down and relax? And
Well, no, we gotta get. You see, he's kind of getting his second. He's getting his breath is stabilizing. He's ready. You feel like he's ready to bolt again soon, effectively.
You said something comes out in the dark. It's always dark on here. So what did you mean by that?
Yeah. Go ahead and make a persuasion roll with advantage. He's tongue-tied. He's flustered.
Very flustered.
Oh, by the way,
Don't do anything
I got possessed.
Natural 20 with persuasion.
Okay, so. All right.
47.
So the things that come out in the dark, there's nothing that comes out in the dark. We need really to get to Gumadan. That's what we need to do. Whew, is it hot in here on me? Whew.
It's you.
Yeah, I guess so. Right. He's like pulling his collar.
Alright, then how much further to Medan?
How much further for Dan?
Oh, it's several hours walking. We go down here. We'll make a left. Don't go to the right. That's a lost catacombs. Make a left, and we'll eventually hit after a couple more hours the ramps. Right? Like, yeah, we all know the maps. Why are you asking me? You guys should know, Medan. We're all familiar with Medan. Yeah,
No,
right.
We just need a refresher. It's all good. All right, let's make our way to
Look,
Dan.
can we take a just a quick break, just to recoup everything?
Yeah, I totally could. A break would be great. Whew. Yeah, let's just right here. Right, he's gesturing to the ground. Yeah, great. Sure. He sits down.
Short rest.
He clearly puts. He sits at a rock that clearly, like, actually back the rock over here, clearly putting distance between you and everyone else. Fidgeting. Hello, Haname.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah.
So, Doma failed his roll eventually with the sword.
I was trying to let go of it, goddammit.
Yeah, you
The
were.
last roll I could have ever made with
Yeah,
it.
you were eventually gonna roll badly at one point. And so we've effectively figured out he was possessed, and the whatever was possessing him was trying to convince us to go to Medan at a very quick breakneck pace.
So I'm leading you guys to Medan.
And so at this point, Doma now is resting against a rock because we kind of interrogated him to the point where we convinced him to. They were not hostile, I guess, but we're still going to go to Medan, which is what he wants, and we haven't said flat out that you're a ghost or something of that nature. So from Doma's perspective, or the ghost's perspective, or whatever the fuck it is, effectively, it still thinks that its ruse is still somewhat intact. It's wobbly for sure, but
Totally intact. Yep.
it feels like it had.
Intact.
It feels like it probably still has some control of the situation because you guys aren't just flat out trying to kill it. So
Oh yeah.
Alright, I want to burn some die.
Do it.
God,
I
you guys are gonna sit here for
might
30 minutes.
do
Is
it.
that what you're trying to do?
Is Haname gonna sing us a song, maybe?
Well, so hold on.
Rest.
All right. So first of all, you have to agree. So first of all, choose where you're putting your token to rest in this theoretical spot.
I choose.
You don't choose anything,
Right
Doma.
here. I choose right there.
Yeah, good. That's where you'll be.
Wait, where's the wall at?
Aniele walks up
Is
to
that right
Aniele
here?
walks up to Orc. Would you like me to go to a rodeo?
Don't worry about it.
That's what they are, right? Yeehaw, yippee-ki-yay.
She has it right.
She's looking at Orc, waiting for a reply.
And I'm on mute, and I'm talking to myself and say, not yet, cowgirl, just settle down.
Oh, whoa, yeah.
Yeah, just let me know.
I gesture over to Evelyn and Roderick, and I so just so I understand the layout of the cave, basically he ran into a dead end.
He ran into a dead end. So he basically, like, you're walking down the path, which is in one direction, and then he just, when you basically kept catching up to him, he had to bolt to the right. So when he kicked you down, he bolted to the right because he had to get off the path. And so he was trying to find somewhere to hide. He found a stone, he dashed the stone, which was a dead end, and then his roll was so crappy for stealth. This is why he rolled again, because he was literally just trying to hide and bunker down, and you fucking beat him. So you saw his pair of eyes, and that's why he's like, shit.
Okay, we're in a dead end. That's the point, right?
Right. So effectively, I mean, he could still bolt. He could still go this way or back the way you came. This was technically forward. This is back towards the village. He could have kept going to the left, but you more or less cornered him in a way where he just didn't feel like he would be able to escape you guys. So he basically gave in temporarily.
I'm gonna quietly suggest to Hanami that she keeps him company and keeps an eye on him, doesn't let him go anywhere.
Alright, so she's over here. You could move over to her and talk to her. I mean, I'll just assume you move over to Haname and kind of divulge the information. Haname seems a little bit like not, she was like out of what's happening, so she's kind of like, what's going on?
So I know. So I just say to Hanami, like, look, I need you to trust me. This is really important. Please keep an eye on Domo. We need to talk to like the rest of us. Keep an eye on Domo. And if he tries to get away, don't let him. Like, do anything you have to keep him here in the camp. And then I'm gonna gesture to the rest of the group to kind of like come over towards more like the mouth, like the opposite end of the spot right from the dead end.
So the way we came, or the way that where he was going originally?
I'm trying to get off this exit.
All right. Well, it's a tunnel, effectively, a very, very wide tunnel. Exit could be that way, but this is where we came from. This way is towards the town. Can you see me painting?
I can. I'm trying to get a couple chores done too, because this takes up
Mm-hmm.
my night.
So the X to the side.
I don't care. I mean, she's keeping an eye on him. I just want to talk to her.
All right. So X is where we came from. Check mark is where theoretically he was running off to when he was saying he was going to Medan. So you guys are effectively moving.
Okay, so I'm gonna move to the check mark.
All right. So you move
We're not
yourself.
gonna check mark, man. That's
That's the X.
Where's the check mark? I don't even. Oh, I see it.
It's not dead. I'm gonna discussion.
But it's not.
Evelyn to Aniele and Roger. That like I'm gonna like yank my head over, jerk my head towards myself and say like, come over here, I want to talk to you.
Well, Aniele moves over there, and Haname, you were instructed to keep this guy company, and he's currently winded. How are you doing, Dragon Mistress?
I'm not sure to stay within yours.
Is that a hole behind him?
The rock.
No, this is a rock. This is a rock. He's currently sitting on
He's
this
sitting on
rock.
a rock.
It's a pretty large boulder. You could hide a 6 foot to 8 foot tall person could try to hide behind it if they crouch down.
So, what did you do?
What do you mean? What did I do? We're going to Medan, right? Yeah. How are you doing? Yeah, how are you doing? Whew.
Hanami's just going to like stare at him waringly. Just like,
Why are you looking at me like that? Is there something on my face? And he's currently like putting his hand to his face.
at that.
What are they up to? They're all off on their own. I thought we were just taking a break together because we're all going to Medan. Yeah, maybe. And he starts setting up. Maybe we should get going again.
No, you sit here.
I don't
resting.
really like your tone. Maybe, yeah. I think, yeah. Let's get going,
At that moment,
guys. Let's get going.
Hanami is going to open her mouth and start to show the electricity in the back of her throat.
No.
All right. So at this moment, you guys, for basically 8 seconds, you group up, and you're allowed to say a couple sentences, but that's already happened. So you group up, like, all right, here's what's going on,
I
right?
didn't actually bring lightning. I'm just starting to show electricity.
All right. So you guys group together, and then I don't know what you could possibly say in like 10 seconds, but
Alright, okay, so here's what I wanted to say was, guys, he needs to be restrained. We need to work together, restrain him before we rest. He will not stay with us.
and at this moment you hear him saying, "Maybe we should get going, yeah, guys." And then you guys turn around, and you see Haname open her mouth, and You see cackle energy, and then at this point,
What are you
before you even get to there, because you're way over here, as you start moving back, he actually pulls his short sword out, and he looks towards Haname, and he dashes towards Haname, trying to stab her.
Could
So-
I actually open fire?
You can, because you were holding the action, so you can totally breathe lightning at him. He is going to also.
Sorry, Doma.
He is going
Sorry,
to
Doma,
make.
you're
He
gonna have
is.
to get a shot.
He is going to make it in melee with you, so he does get a melee attack. So Doma, I need you to make a melee attack to try to hit Haname. Haname, you get a Doma. You also need to make the con saving throw.
That's a nat
Sorry.
20.
All right, so nat 20 on the hit for your attack. So we'll deal with your damage.
Nobody have any finesse. What the hell?
All right, so
God.
Doma, go ahead and roll damage. Double dice. Your creature does not know how to use Divine Smite, so it's not throwing Divine Smite into it.
So, 2 6 then?
It would be 4d6, right? No, you're right. It's a short sword, so it's just 2d6. You're right. Yeah, 2d6 plus your mod. Damn, that's low. Your mod's 4, right?
Isn't it? Fucking. Oh god, where's my list?
Your strength is still higher than your dex, so you're gonna probably do strength.
Yeah, strength.
So 4, and then you add 2 because of your feet, right? Because you have the +2 damage feat.
I do have +2 damage. Am I currently holding my shield up?
Yes, but you don't know what you're holding. You're holding a short sword, and that's because you have to have
I need to know if I need to know.
No, you're not. Your shield's not out right now.
Alright, then I don't get the +2, and I only get +3 for strength.
You
So
would.
6 damage.
Don't you still get the +2 because as long as you're not using another weapon in the other hand, and you're only using
Yes.
one melee weapon. So he's using one. You're using one-handed weapon. You're using no other weapon. So you meet the
The
requirement.
fighting style.
Yeah. So it is going to be 4 + 4, 8 + 2. So you do 10 piercing damage to Haname, and then you now need to make a dex saving throw from Haname's DC. What's your DC for your breath, Haname? It's not the same as your normal DC.
Trying to remember.
Con mod plus proficiency plus 8.
It's con plus proficiency plus.
Con plus proficiency plus 8.
I'm sorry, like you were cutting out for a second.
Con plus proficiency plus 8.
Okay, so that would be a 12.
Alright, Doma, roll and try to beat a dex saving throw of 12. Make it 12 or higher.
I rolled all the way to a 5.
Alright, so you take full damage. Alright, Doma, you take... Woo!
15.
You take 15 lightning damage, so take 15 damage to your character. You took your 8 piercing damage, right? And you guys see them exchange blows with themselves, and the ghost is immediately going to go for a second attack. Doma, go for a second attack. That would be the last thing it can do on its turn.
So I can bring in my calculator just to make sure I get all these right. Alright, where's my attack dice? That's 11 plus 6.
Alright, 17. Alright, so Haname, you start the first attack kind of got off surprise, and then the second attack would hit you unless you want to do anything.
Totally, yeah.
I would have to roll very high on the cutting words to actually negate
Wait,
it.
what the hell is your AC?
12.
Oh god, no wonder. Fucking yeah.
Alright, so you just take the hit?
Yeah.
Alright, so roll a d6.
Damage.
Roll a d6. 2 plus your 6, so 8. 8. And you want to cutting words this, you said?
Yep.
Okay. Your cutting words is d8s now, buddy, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, Bardic Inspiration's d8 for you by now.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, I was thinking Song of Rest. Hold on.
Did I take 11 damage? What was it?
Okay, it's reduced by 7.
Okay, so you take 1 piercing damage from the second attack, and then at that moment, Doma then effectively he turns, seeing that you didn't die, and he's gonna start trying to run, which there's not many places to run, and now everyone can roll initiative.
Oh, what did I take for the lightning breath?
And then get the heal.
15.
That's exactly why I said.
Lightning
That's why I
breath.
told you that short rest was not coming through.
Well, we would have been fine, but what are we doing? Initiative?
Initiative. You're all rolling initiative. Doma has
We're
effectively.
rolling.
Yes.
You roll initiative for yourself. I don't have your character sheet. I mean, I have it, but I don't want to pull it up. So I'm having you control it when I need you to control it. Okay, I'll tell you what I want you to do.
10.
Okay, so move your token to the 10, please. Everyone, please roll initiative. Oh, I have to roll initiative for the angel, don't I? Because that's right. Oh God, she rolled high. Whoa. Okay.
She can do that?
She rolled to a 20. I mean, at 19, and then she got a +1, so she has a 20 initiative.
Wait, the angel can roll high? That's a thing?
Yeah, well, the thing is that I tend to roll high, and that's why her dex saving throw, Sacred Flame, never hits, so I want to roll low for that.
You roll high until it's a boss fight.
Right. Alright, everyone up there? I'm missing Lash and Smash, I'm missing Roderick, and I'm missing Oric's token.
And make sure I'm reading this right. It's supposed to, you get +2 for your level, and then it's your dex after that.
Initiative is just whatever your dex mod is.
Okay.
So roll a d20 now your dex mod.
Already got it.
Alright, so Aniele gets to act first. Let's see.
What would the angel do?
WWE.
She looks towards Oric.
Wow.
And then she 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She runs over here to within 30, and she turns to Oric, and she's like nodding her head to you. Should I?
I nod my head. Giddy up, cowboy.
All right, so she casts Channel Divinity, Turn Undead. And
Turn on dead too.
it will turn undead effectively. It makes them run and flee if they're possessing something. Immediately shunts them out of their body, and if they're alone of challenge rating, it instantly kills them. So they have to make a save to try to resist it, though. Let's see. As an action, present your holy symbol and speak a prayer, censoring the dead. Each undead that you see or hear you within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. Well, here we go.
What's her damn holy symbol?
Her damn holy symbol? Really?
Herself.
I am the holy symbol.
Alright, so that's as fast as this combat began. Son of a bitch.
Wow.
You see a plume of white energy erupt out from picking up small pebbles along the ground, and dust gets flown in the air, and you see this energy kind of careen into Rodoma, who's now turning with this blood-soaked blade, and he's turning towards the angel, towards the light. He basically was running that way. And he runs right into it, and he knocks back, and you see this light blue-looking silhouette of a humanoid get pushed out of Doma's body as Doma then collapses to the ground, falls to the floor, the sword scatters forward, and the spear just disintegrates. Yes, it disintegrates. Just turns to dust in the air.
Can I ask a question? Who are you?
Doma is now laying on the ground. This energy seems to have faded, and the sword has scattered to about 10 feet away from Doma's hand.
I reach into the bag and pull out some top clothes, wrap the sword around it.
Alright, you run up to the sword as Doma's kind of unconscious on the ground, and you wrap your clothes in it, and you pick it up. And you now have the sword on your possession.
And I step it.
Alright, you throw it in the bag, or you throw it on your person?
Bag.
Okay, you throw it in the bag. Alright, so the sword's in the bag.
I thought the ghost died. We're being so careful with the sword.
Alright,
We don't know if it died or.
that was
just,
Aniel's
like,
turn.
returned
I'll
to
let
the
you
sword.
guys do what you want. Doma has fallen unconscious on the ground. Oric ran up and looted the weapon to make sure no one could get their hands on it.
Roderick was
The question is, did I learn anything about him with him inside my head?
Begin to meditate
We'll see.
by that rock.
Oh man!
Try to-
All right,
try to-
Aniele runs up to Doma's body and checks his life signs because he could have been dead, right? And you guys are such a caring group. Oh my God, she rolled bad on medicine.
I didn't have a chance to do anything yet. I was actually gonna go see.
Oh sure. So then, Evelyn, why don't you roll? Why don't you roll medicine?
Pardon me. I don't know what's going on. All I know is Doma was acting sketch and attacked me when I was trying to tell him sit there. Apparently something serious is going on.
You know what's funny? Aniele apparently moved really low on my check, so she's gonna look back at the group. He's dead!
All right. So Aniele and Evelyn move up to him. They're checking their pulse, and they both realize that he still has a pulse. He's still breathing. He's not dead.
He's dead, damn it!
I thought she had worse medicine than she did, but of course she wouldn't. It's based on wisdom, so.
He's alive, at least.
Guys, what happened?
I say that dumb fuck got possessed by this stupid sword. I told him it was evil.
You couldn't have said that before instead of me seeing him acting sketch. You could have pulled me aside while everyone else looked after him for a minute.
So let's just chill out. It's not a big deal.
I electrocuted Doma and he
Could
stabbed
have
me.
died, so it's
Do
not a big
you?
deal.
Are you okay, Haname? Should I heal you?
Well, we're
Be
all a
fine
little bit
for now, I guess. Just
hurt. Let's take our short rest.
ugh.
Let's give Doma some time to wake up, I guess.
I need some hit dice.
Okay. Yeah. Should we move over to the wall?
Sure. Yes.
All right. So then just to save
I
up
will-
time, we
Yeah.
prostrate ourselves somewhere in some kind of semicircle around this wall. Doma propped up against it. You guys are now kind of taking a short rest, meditating. We should allow to do light activity or dialogue with each other if you would so wish. I just want to say one comment. While Haname and Roderick were walking, you guys were talking about items that you procured in the town.
Doesn't much.
What did I procure? Short of just that jar of stinky fluid.
Right, which you ultimately left in the town. So it was more Roderick talking about things that he found in town.
I didn't really do much for that
Books.
much. I mean, they
Didn't you loot the books? Who looted the fucking books?
Roderick.
I
thought it was-
Books.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you're right.
so you guys were still talking about what you found in town, but you found nothing. But this would hopefully make Oric realize he has the books. God damn it!
Okay, yeah, I have the random books from the Web Dwarf Village. That's all the details you gave me.
Sure, that's cool. Great.
Okay,
let's
so
go.
yep, we talked about translating. Hey, check these out. Meanwhile, I'm gonna say, guys, we need to see if that spirit's still in here. And
Give me those books.
while he's while he's looking at those, I say it also might be worth. I know some of us are pretty hurt. It might be worth taking a little bit longer of a break, but I'm gonna just do another identify on this sword to see if I can see if that spirit is still in it.
All right, so you begin casting the ritual detect on. I'm sorry, identify.
Right.
Meanwhile, Roderick is picking up the books. Roderick, these are unnamed books. One's more of like a binder with a whole bunch of papers shoved into it. I wouldn't say a binder, but like a folder, like a leather-bound folder almost.
Codex.
Yeah, and there's just a bunch of papers that are kind of skewed inside of it. And the other one happens to be a book. Both are unmarked. Which one would you like to start reading first?
Definitely.
Can I help
That,
him?
folder.
Hold on. Since we're taking a short rest, I'm going to go ahead and be playing Song of Rest while people do hit die.
All right. And
Do hit die.
so, which one are you deciphering right now, Roderick?
Actually, you know, I'm going with the book.
All right. So,
Ooh,
Roderick, you
add
start
an
flipping the
extra
book.
5.
You roll up, start flipping the book, and
Well done.
you guys can also use your hit dice, and your spell slots will be restored
Can
after
I do hit dice?
after we. Yes, you can too, Doma. You guys will all
Yes,
be able to.
6.
Doma, about when Oric finishes his casts for his identify, you will regain conscious. Okay, so I'll give you. You can use short die.
By the
Use
way, guys,
hit
add
dice
an
if you'd like to
extra
use
5.
them, and if you do use a hit dice, add 5 to it because it's on a rest from Haname. All right, so
I'm back up to
we'll
full.
do with We're gonna do with Roderick first. Roderick, you look at the book. Roderick, what you see on immediately is you flip to the first page, and you see a giant table, just a table with columns. There appears to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, and it kind of goes through the entire page. And you flip another couple pages forward, and there's another table, another column, and you flip a couple more pages forward, and you quickly then flip the entire book. And the entire book is just table after table after table. They're identical table. It looks like it was designed to be this way. It's not like it was made by a printing press. It was hand-drawn tables. They're slightly askew at certain points. But you realize the entire thing is just a huge index. So you go back to the first page and start deciphering through it. Go ahead and make an investigation roll.
All right.
What's up, everyone? This is my stone. You are listening.
God, man.
Seriously. I guess we went through that much audio already. Holy shit. How long have we been going?
I mean, we've only been really gone for an hour. I got a 9.
Oh man, can I lend him a lucky?
Please? I get a 16 for initiative, but 2 for that,
So
investigation.
this is what you basically see the following. So I'm just gonna start telling you what you literally see, and maybe you can piece things together. Column 1, 2,450,506 on the first row. Column 2 next to it, plus 20 Gaul. Column 3, 61 Gaul. Column 4, which is a wider column than any of the other columns. It has a relatively older word the dwarves use for water. At the very end, the last column, 2,460,506. You then look at the second row, 2,450,506. The second column, negative 42 Gaul. The third column, 19 Gaul. The fourth column says dwarf for water again. And then at the end, the last column is a blank space. The third row, 2,450,513, plus 15 ib. 83 ib in the third column. The fourth column, nuts. The last column, 2,450,113. The next row, 2,450,513, plus 30 Gaul. 49 Gaul. Water, 2,460,513. The next row, 2,450,527, plus 35 Gaul, 77 Gaul. Then this one, it says ale. Last one, the last column, 2,480,527. The next row, and this is the last row I'm going to give you as an example, 2,450,611, plus 15 ib, 53 ib, palm, 2,471,211. And it kind of just goes on and on like this. And you notice that about the first 24 pages have things in it, but right around that 25th page, it just cuts out. There's no more text. It just trails off at that point. That's what you see out of this immediately. So you can try to deduce what you want from there.
Do I have to share it?
You do not. But that's what this book is showing you currently.
Alright, so okay, move on to the folder-ish or binder thing.
Yeah, you move on to the folder-ish binder. All right, at this moment, that was 10 minutes.
good.
Auric, your identify goes off. Doma, you wake up. Auric, your identify. This is a short sword. You sense no malpresence in it. It seems the presence has been banished. It's gone.
You okay, Doma?
Somewhat. I have a
Doma?
fucking headache.
Doma, how do I get to Medan?
I don't know.
Okay. I just put my hand on his shoulder and I just kind of like breathe a sigh of relief.
Wait, would I know? Would I know anything he knew?
You saw like a very distant theater, far
Yeah,
away
could I,
on screen.
hear
You
what
heard it, and you basically you barely heard it, but you kind of knew what was being said. So you like barely hear it, but you kind of get the information that's being said, but it's only what's actually said. So you don't know anything beyond what you knew or what the party basically knows.
I didn't know anything he knew.
He didn't. His memories don't flood into you. You just happen to have. You basically just saw yourself.
We just know the basic directions he gave us.
Exactly. So he made one comment on a specific direction. If you remember that, if you guys remember that, you can follow that. Otherwise,
Something about not going right.
Yeah, go left,
Yeah.
right.
Go left, not right, and then go down the ramp.
all right. So Auric, your identify
I
spell.
thought that's when you get to the ramp.
Just repeat. It's a short sword. It's fairly balanced. It's a good quality. It's fair quality, and it there seems to be no presence on it. The presence seems to be fully gone.
I walk over to Doma and say, "Welcome back, buddy. You're probably good to use this now." Hand it back.
Oh. I look at the sword questioningly.
I said, "No. We checked. It's clean, man. You're good."
Sure.
No, I'm sure.
You'll cautiously take the sword.
You cautiously put your hands on the sword, like wincing at first, thinking something bad is about to happen, and you don't feel anything. Nothing seems to
There's
be.
no traces of stuff from,
Well,
what
from
happens
your
to us?
current perspective, there doesn't seem to be anything bad happening.
I don't get that immediate don't touch it stance. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Ron-
remember anything that happened a couple of minutes ago?
You do. You do remember what happened. It feels like a weird dream, but you kind of piece it together and you realize that it probably actually happened because you do hurt. You feel like this like slightly charredness to your body. There's a little bit of a tingle. You see Haname, and she actually is kind of clutching at a wound that's like there's some blood splattered on her, and it seems to have healed a little bit over time, but it kind of pieces together that actually happened.
Did I do that?
Yes.
No.
Well, technically it was your body, not you.
God, who the fuck was that?
No
I was
idea.
gonna rub one of his eyes.
Yes, got it out.
Kind of sit up off the ground. God.
I don't think we'll ever know
It's
now.
fucking killing me.
Sit for a minute longer, Doma. You need it.
Yeah.
At this moment, you guys see Roderick, and he closes the book, and there's like a thump as he basically scratching his head. He can't come to an absolute conclusion, and he starts going through the ledger with all these misassorted papers.
I
Start the book,
whoever it was, they didn't have your best intentions at heart, so.
Remember something was down. A lot of fumbled words.
At least we know how to get there, and that's some good that came of this.
Yeah, I guess. I got a sword, too. I guess.
Just numbers counting. Seems to be just taking an inventory of sorts. Doesn't seem to be much use to us, unfortunately.
What about the second one? Have you looked at that one yet?
I'm going to right now.
Sweet.
All right, so you open the second one, and what you see.
Is in these notes he has to find.
The second unmarked book is actually a cluster of papers stuffed into a leather cover. Seems to be memos about the progress of the community. Make an investigation roll.
All right, let's go.
You got this.
Oh!
27.
A natural 20?
Yeah, that's funny.
So as you start God, this. Okay, I have to give you everything.
You know all.
So first of all, as you start reading this, you actually stop because you just recognize that some of these terms that are being used are just really, really outdated dwarf. Like the way to say water. It's like old English. They don't. It's the way the dwarves normally say water now is something around the lines of Alan, but back in the older days, it's Al, just Al was what water stand for, and it's kind of progress. And you're just seeing Al being listed, and you're like, well, these are just really old terminology, and it's giving you like, well, this is a really, really fucking old book because something just seems wrong with this. And you can look back at the ledger real quick because there was a whole bunch of numbers there, and you can go ahead and make a history check now with advantage because of your fucking natural 20.
Oh.
Hey.
History.
The number.
That would be a 6. No, history. Crap, 12.
Well, all right, so you look over it, and the first column and the last column bug you dramatically. These very, very large numbers: 2,450,506, 2,460,506 again, and then like later down, you start seeing that they're incrementing. The more and more you go down the pages, they go up and up, and you're like, well, are they dates? Is this a date? But this doesn't follow a date schematic that any current calendar group uses. And it does dawn on you that this must have been a date schematic of something way long ago, but you just can't quite put it together as to what the dates are. The numbers clearly are normal numbers, so it's not like the numbers have changed. It's not like dwarves have a different system for numbers, but the alphabet is different. So your party can't discern these unit measurements or the nouns for what the rows mean, but the numbers can clearly be shown to them. But as you look over, you're like, yeah, this is just a bunch of these items in this ledger are basically just a whole bunch of like potable foods and resources seeming to be stocked up, and you've seen indexes of negatives and minuses and positives of where they're gaining and where they're losing. Specifically, the very first entry was plus 20, what you'd assume 20 gallons of water. You have no idea what the first or last column mean because they're just large numbers, but you surmise their dates. You just don't know what the dates are referring to or what year it happens to be referring to. So you can't quite determine exactly when this book, how old that book actually is. But so that's what you basically get from the ledger real quick. You look at it and you kind of just put it to the side, like, okay, well, that kind of confirms something, but there's still some mystery with it. And then you look back at the other book and you start actually reading through it now, like, because it was just bothering you. Like, this is really old, and I kind of linked together. So obviously this is just something really, really, really old dwarf, which early estimates, I mean, dwarves kind of came out of when their monarchy fell around 2,000 years ago. You're going, well, it's at least 2,000 years old, but you're not sure exactly how long. Oh, totally. So, the second book. So, first thing first, it talks about the construction of a new storage facility designed to keep cooler temperatures to deal with the unusual heat that they've been experiencing the past few weeks. A later paper comments about continuing the digging project upward. Things are moving as they would expect, no major complications. Comments are made about how the evacuation route has been completed. The route isn't in presenting condition, but it at least can be used if Medan has a crisis arise. Future papers start talking about how, based on the recent events of above ground, the Crown has now instructed us to seal the evacuation route to prevent any threat from using this route to gain entry into Medan. And then the last kind of thing you kind of surmise from the final few pages is the crew decides to install a safety mechanism to allow entry, provided you know the code. Anyone who fails the code will surely die, and they will still not gain entry, even if they do happen to survive.
Right there, a cold sweat would, like one beat cold sweat would run down Roger's cheek.
Oops. Oh.
Upon reading that line. Ooh, we dodged a bullet there.
What?
But actually, people.
Get the mirrors. Was that it there?
That's all you get out of the two books total from what you've surmised.
Okay. First, does anyone know anything about like I guess dates and such? I'm not really sure what this means exactly. I know it. They didn't even point to the book because everyone's closest to Evelyn.
What would the role be on that? Just out of curiosity.
This is history checks. Are you familiar with previous date schematics? How dates were done in different times of different ages.
Let me take a look.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else but Al.
So you show it to Al. I mean, if you're proficient in history, you're a really good cue for it. If you consider your character a bookwormy type of person, you would maybe have seen this at some point. So I would allow you to. So this ledger is shown to anyone that would like to roll for it.
Yeah.
Alright, I wander over. Everyone's curious about puzzles.
Ooh. Take a look, but I don't know.
You got 16 as well.
I might know something. That was a high roll. Let me see what's my history got down.
Everybody huddle up. Let's go.
It's a negative.
So close, Doma, but not enough.
I know.
No one breached the 20, so I can't give you everything about it. But so you come to terms, and so first of all, Roderick, you have to regale to them about what you found in the other papers to really give them the hindsight to draw conclusions. Otherwise, it's just numbers to them, right? So.
All right.
So,
you can ask her after you surmise your own conclusions that the NPC exists, but currently she's not looking at the ledger. She's just currently resting at the moment.
well, let's talk and let's ask. You gotta tell us first.
All right. So, as a whole, this book seems to be written with older dwarvish. I can get the gist of it, but I mean, there's some terms that are just like
It's a dialect thing.
yeah. Well, it's more like as you get older, it may change how you use how your language is slightly. It's something like that. But I mean, what I found in this other one is just seems to be memos about details of the storage facility and an evacuation route. I mean, it says that above ground like there may have been some issues. So they were told to seal this evacuation route for Medan.
Like,
And-
how we came in, you mean?
Exactly. Basically, we dodged a pretty big bullet there, because that was a safety entry that they installed, and if we didn't know the code, we would have died.
Well, that's
Well, that's probably where the ash was.
to know.
Yes.
Oh man.
That's good to know.
From what, yeah, this old book. Otherwise, it just seems to be like a legend. Where did you say you got this from?
Sure.
Where'd you get this from? Or
This came from the building where we were fighting the spiders.
Well, I'm wondering if they're talking about that room that Haname found that jar in, where they had all those jars. I wonder if that's the storage thing you were talking about. That was mentioned.
yeah.
Well, I'm guessing that whole facility was kind of like an outpost / storage facility to build that escape route that obviously we came in through.
It was like a post.
Exactly. It's like
Yeah.
a forward operated base kind of thing.
So here's the question.
But the dates. When did this happen? That's the.
Do you recognize these dates? I feel like, God, it's like on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember what it is.
Well, so here's what you do recognize after you guys kind of pull your heads together. So first thing first, I'm just going to give you some information. So it's going to kind of re-surmise what you know about the ledger, but I'm just not going to try to decipher and then spit it out to you. So it's a ledger pertaining quantities of potable foods and beverages. Based on the conversations your group has shared about what you have found, you can deduce that several of the buildings here were storage facilities holding the supplies that were once listed here. As you look through the indexes, there starts getting really large quantities of food near the cutoff point where it just stops doing entries. Like, theoretically, hundreds of pounds of food and hundreds of gallons of water. And,
But we don't know what direction that was going, right?
Well, yes, you don't. All you know is that it's positive numbers is the one thing you can surmise. There's positive entries, positive entries of astronomically large amounts of food and water, which seems to be odd pertaining to what Roderick told you, which is that they effectively were told a collapse of pace. Wouldn't they have started withdrawing some of those resources? So there seems to be a disconnect amongst that.
Right.
You also know the pages are incredibly worn. Some of the dwarf nouns used are incredibly old and aren't in common use anymore. And you do recognize... Oh, I'm reading the wrong damn fucking thing. I'm sorry, that was supposed to be your investigation checks. That's right, there was a history check one. Oh, man, you already knew all this shit. Well, anyways, you recognize the first and last column were date format. Specifically, the format for dates is no longer being used in circulation. All right, history check. So, wow, no one met the requirement to even know the first thing. Holy fucking smokes! Never mind.
19 doesn't know anything?
No, to learn the very. This was a difficult check. You need a 20 or higher to learn the first piece of information.
Well, I wouldn't expect Doma to know anything anyway.
Right, that's why I would encourage that if you thought your character was a historian, your character shouldn't know anything because you're not from this planet, so you shouldn't have rolled regardless. But I mean, you could have known some things from your veneer, I guess you're right. But anyways, so
I decided to check, though I didn't.
I was thinking possibly in case I learned any songs or poems that.
so ultimately,
may have
if you want to
happened.
learn more about the mystery, you'd have to bring it to someone else and have them deduce it, or you need to figure it out yourselves right here, right now. And I could write it out for you, but that I can't give you more information because I just can't freebie it to you. It'd have to you to devise it yourself. So unfortunately, I'm sorry, your history checks were not sufficient enough to figure out what time, what era, whatever the fuck these dates are referring to. Unless you pry. Yeah, god damn it. Turn to the angel.
Yeah, she would
No,
know
let's
these
go,
guys.
guys.
Aniele, do you recognize the state system?
I can read it, but I don't know. I don't know your immortal structure. I'm sorry. I recognize that this is referring to an era. Looks like it's year 245.
That's a while.
That's the one thing I get. Year 245. The first entry, year 245. Looks like it was around May 6th. And then the last column seems to be year 246. May 6th. The second entry shows year 245.
That's the day after my birthday.
The second row shows year 245, May 6th, but the last column has nothing in it. I don't know what that refers to. The third column, May 13th of year 245. The last column on that row says November 13th, year 245.
Aniele.
Am I getting a reference about like what it says 245? Like, why that would be dated like that? What's it based off of? What started that date?
Right. So here. So basically, I can give you I can surmise the basic thing for you. So most of you, maybe not Doma, recognizes that there have been times where civilization has prospered and has clung. Just like in any society, certain people conquer and imperialize, and they change it to a different calendar structure. That's why you know this calendar system's not used. At some point in history on this continent, something like this happened, either a calamity or some kind of imperialism, basically. And that's why this format doesn't seem familiar to you. You guys know that per your guys' calendar, you currently are in the year. You guys don't really keep track of the months. You just go, this is the year we're in, and you guys just keep track of seasons for harvest, basically. So they don't really date the months. But they specifically know that you're in the year of 3152 AU. Which... Who rolled over 15 on their general history check?
Me.
Evelyn. All right, so everyone would know the basic. So basically, AU stands for the Age of Unity. That's the year you're in. So basically, 3,100.
Our current year is roughly what?
3,152 AU. So currently, you're the 3,152nd year of the Age of Unity starting. Before that, there would be a previous era, and potentially before that, another era, and another era, another era. Like,
And another one.
So you would know that basic information, but specifically when this dating scheme was used, you're not sure. And it says, Aniele says to you that it's the first entry is year 245. But you don't. It doesn't state which age it is. It doesn't say if it's your age or if it's a different age. So you don't know exactly when it's happened.
God, this thing is fucking old.
And I'm not necessarily right now, but at another point in time, can you teach me that how that system works, if you may?
Well, I don't really know how this system works. Fuck, that's right. I'm sorry, Roderick. You would understand this because you have fucking the ability to comprehend anything you read, right? So.
Yeah.
I was relying completely. I was relying completely on your dwarf skills at first, and I forgot you had that. So that would have let you have read the date immediately, and you would have recognized that the date was May 6th, year 245. But you still would have done the history check to go, what does 245 mean? So ultimately, it doesn't change anything your party knows. I'm sorry, you wouldn't have had to rely on Aniele. Angels basically angels have something very similar. They pretty much can read anything that's pretty much written. But that doesn't mean they know. That doesn't mean that you don't. That doesn't mean you know how to puzzle it. It just you know what it says something basically. So in this case, you would have surmised that you know it's a date structure, and that was referring to year 245.
Around how long ago did Medan close off? Do we know that off general lore?
If you guys remember it, I've mentioned it, but
It was like 2,000 years ago.
2,000 years, yeah.
And it's 3,000 years away from when this date was. So, Jesus.
This has been a slow beginning to their downfall.
Who knows? It's around when they close the gates, isn't it? That's what it said in the book.
If it's not necessarily conclusive, I mean, if we got more.
We'll have to.
Why don't we maybe see what if maybe someone in Medan will know what these are, or
If there's anybody here.
right. Well,
Let's go take a look, I guess.
Alright, don't need to calm down with that, let's go to the damn thing.
I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Let's go to Medan, guys!
I mean, since we know that it was
Gonna go north, guys. Right to Medan.
it's straight north. I'm just gonna start coming. We've got a pickaxe somewhere, right?
No, it's broken.
I have a
With
I have a dagger.
with the knowledge that we have no, I mean, it's not necessarily more dangerous at any given point, in these caves. Do we think that, do we want to pursue Medan for a few hours, or?
I say we should set a time limit and then turn back when we find that time limit.
What? Turn back to what?
Wait, what?
We can't. We literally have to go forward. There's no way back for us. Remember, we explored the entrance that we came
No,
in.
we can dig it out. It's not that bad.
Yes, it is.
So, hold on. After all this bullshit, now you guys want to leave?
I'm saying we
We
set a
haven't
time
gotten to
limit.
Medan yet?
We set a time limit. A couple days from now, maybe we'll turn around and go back. If we don't find anything useful.
Yeah, I think Medan is still, if there is anyone there, it's still our best bet for this war. We still need to solicit help.
Not arguing.
We're obviously
Let's continue ahead.
Well, my other question was, do we want to explore that lake area and see if we can find Quack? I really am worried about our friend.
That would be a good idea. Do we get a general sense of where that lake would be from here? Or are we
Through
just...
the spider nest, you mean?
Well, it's not through the spider nest. It was
Yeah, we left it a while ago. It was down a sheer cliff face and we went along it.
We have to go through the spiders to get back to there.
No.
No, the spiders all ran away.
So just provide some
I'm just saying we
direction.
have to go through that area to get
Right.
back to the lake you're talking about.
You guys effectively left that town to chase after Doma possessed. You went down a path and Doma was heading to Medan, theoretically. It was a relatively openish area, so there was many directions to go, and Doma ran this direction specifically. You could backtrack your way to that town. It's only 10 minutes away from where you currently are, because it was a sprint run and then you settled down. But to get theoretically back to where Quack, back to the ladder where he fell, to that river, you have to go through the spider town again. You would have to. Because that's just the point from where you are now. That's the intersection, and then you would theoretically have the option to go up the cliff face, this winding cliff face that goes on for about an hour or two, and then at the very top there's the river where you could go right and go into the river into a tunnel that shoots down, or you could keep following the river up to where you guys basically descended into the original point, which is where you where the statue broke its way through the obsidian wall. So, to surmise, Evelyn is correct. You would have to go through the spider town, or you could try to circumnavigate around it, but you didn't really explore out that far, so you don't know how successful that could be. But effectively, you'd have to at least go back towards the town if you wanted to go backwards.
Through it or bypass it, I guess.
That you don't know for sure, because you guys didn't check every nook and cranny, but you know you'd have to head back that direction, which would put you in close proximity of it.
Right. I mean, we've kind of destroyed their homes. I don't know how fast the spiders are going to resettle that town, so I don't think it's a huge risk. Yeah, I don't think it's a huge risk, but I mean, at this point, I think we probably chose the wrong direction. Realistically, he might be dead, but I would like closure on my friend, one way or another. But I'm willing to do what the group wants.
So do we explore ahead or go for Quack? This decision was already made. We decided to explore ahead. Are we going to keep exploring?
We followed the lanterns because the argument was that he might be in the town. We got to the town and it was obviously not inhabited, right?
Well, we meant yeah, but alright.
No, we argued that there might be someone who could give us help looking for him.
Right, and Medan.
Ain't no one there. Maybe
Two hours later, I don't think it's realistic to expect someone's going to know where that thing is, because obviously no one settles around here, right? Like,
Do any of you know how to scry?
Scry?
Ooh, I don't have that spell.
It's an arcane spell that allows you to check on an ally. Does anyone have?
Oh, yes.
Just no.
Well, that's not scrying, but I mean, if you have magical means, you could try them.
I can.
Send him a text.
that might be a good idea.
Text the new. Is he alive?
Alright.
What's a text with the new?
Alright. Oh man, there goes my spell slot already.
Oh, our spell slots reset?
He uses short rests.
Alright, if we do this, I may need to rest a little longer. Just letting you know that.
Okay.
Just keep it simple. Ask him if he's alive.
Hey, you alive?
Where you
What,
at?
you got in real life?
Yo, dude, what's up?
Where you at, bro? Want me in real life?
Come at me, man.
I'll meet you at a PAX South.
There we go.
That's it.
Take out the bros.
Alive, bro!
You may want to
Bro,
what?
You
Where are you?
Yeah, where are you?
Where are you
What
at?
do you need?
Are you in pain?
Alright, so I think I'm ready for
Add
this.
that. Alright, there you go.
You think you're ready for this?
Roderick, you close your eyes, you put your fingers to your temples to send the spell, and you think of this text you want to say. Quack, bro, are you alive? Bro, where are you? Really, Quack, are you alive? Well, he could have literally moved him from the car. I'm just reading it, alright? So, Quack, where are you? Are you alive? Where are you?
Oh, where are you?
Bro.
Do you even quack, bro?
You're such a
Wait, oh my god. This is...
What?
I can
He's
spell
misspelled
from distance and even other planes of existence.
Yeah.
But if
Pretty
it's always
badass.
on different other... It's a 5% chance that the
Please
message
roll it.
doesn't arrive.
Please roll a d20.
5%, let's go.
What happens when you fail?
Oh.
This probably is good enough. It should be. Let's go.
Okay,
Good.
so, you send the message off towards your buddy Quack. And you wait patiently as their response. But do we hear anything? Is he alive? And there's no reply.
Wait. One question. I don't know why. If Quack, well, does he have his own thoughts necessarily? Like,
He was stupid, not retarded.
He wasn't Auric.
wow. Alright,
Come
so
on, man. He wasn't our Goliath,
He
okay?
was cognitive, okay? Unlike Auric, he was cognitive.
Well, I don't understand those comments, but whatever.
So there's no reply. And then you wait there for a minute going, come on, buddy, come on. And there's no response.
So, what happens if he fails?
In the arms of the Aniele. Fly away.
Shut up.
I can't help it.
So the rest of the group is looking at you, waiting for an answer.
We'll try again.
Alright, what do you say this time?
Final answer.
Okay. So after everyone's eyes look back at you, you make contact with Evelyn and Haname, as they're the two closest. You swallow down as you try to focus one more time, like, he's got to be alive, he can't be dead, right? And you say to him, Quack, please let me know if you're okay. We can find you if you are alive. Please roll a d20.
The fuck's this spell?
Ooh.
Okay, give me a second.
Oh my.
Oh my god. Didn't expect this really. Out of nowhere.
I have to pull my rule book out because I want to read this fucking spell to make sure I don't jank you.
What's the damn spell anyway?
Sending.
And
He just hears, ah, my leg!
You summon Quack's ghost.
that's Aniele that'll do that.
Okay.
Summon quacks
So-
that possesses Doma.
As you send your second message, you wait. 10 seconds. 15 seconds. 18 seconds. 20 seconds. Can you make an intelligence check?
All right.
Oh
You just
no.
rode.
On a different plane of existence.
Can you make an intelligence check?
All right.
This spell, man. Did you just contact the afterlife?
11. Well, no, just. Okay, yeah, just 11.
So, you're familiar with the basic of the spell. The spell should be able to succeed in any normal environment unless there's something that interferes with it. It could be that it's not porting to the next plane of existence. It could be that there's something that inhibiting it. If he's not conscious, it wouldn't work. And so based on the evidence you have, he could flat out be dead, but he could still be alive. He just could be unconscious. He can't respond if he's not cognitive.
So he doesn't get like a red receipt.
So there's no reply, but you do have potentiality. There could be hope. You don't know.
You should try again later.
He's by the hero.
So now you turn to the rest of the group and they look at you after you tried twice. There's a little bit of sweat on your face. Do you want to say anything?
I wasn't able to get him, but that doesn't mean that he's necessarily gone. I'm gonna try again next chance we get. Okay.
I guess.
Hame just gives a solemn look.
Yeah, thanks for trying at least.
Yeah, let's just rest up and keep moving in.
Yeah.
So are we going to
Maybe
turn this
if
into
any
a
hero
long
is-
rest, or
There's not even enough time for a long rest.
Maybe if any hero is kind, we'll be able to get in contact with Quack again.
Any hero.
Yep.
I'm sorry, what name did you
Okay.
say?
With the Venahira? Venahira, was that correct? Was that pronounced correctly?
She looks at every one of you. How do you know that name?
God, I think.
It's the main deity of my hometown.
But she's not...
Gods of life.
Okay, that's
It's
interesting.
not what?
I'm...
Can I insight check her?
Yes,
What
you
is
may.
she?
Please.
God.
ooh,
God, should I insight check?
Too late.
Alright.
This
17 for me.
So 17. Just FYI, this isn't a game where like everyone gets to roll every fucking time, right? So usually
Yeah,
it's the
you're right.
person that initiates it gets to have advantage of it. Sometimes I'll let a second person throw their hat into it, but unless I'm saying everyone go for it kind of thing, usually it's just the person that nominates it for it first kind of thing, which can screw you over because if you're really bad at it and no one's doing it, then it's like, well, someone better roll for but nothing, right? So it's kind of how the game works. Isn't always group checks because that's not how the game's supposed to be playing. You're supposed to go, what's my character thinking right now, right?
yeah.
And what am I thinking for my character? All right, so Evelyn on your is 17. You said.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's something definitely was off by that, and she seems very guarded after it seems like she made a misstep, and you feel like she's trying to like recede herself away from you.
The
Well-
connections are making in my mind.
Well, I mean, with regards to how I know that just it has to do with more so, with what I am. So.
Sure. I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt your conversation. I wasn't expecting any of you to know that name.
Is there something bad about that name, Manio?
Well, it could be a coincidence, but that's the name of my matron.
Is it
Yes.
really?
But she... it's the same name. Maybe there's a greater demigod I'm pretending to be, or perhaps. I don't know.
heard
for a
rumors
reason.
that she appeared in my homeland a long time ago. I never really learned the story though.
Wait, who is this? Like, I don't know anything about her.
Veni Hura was, from what I gather about her, a goddess of light. First
Life.
Not really life, per se.
You can make a religion check there, Orc.
I can make one too, right?
I mean, okay, yeah, Doma. Well, Oric was asking a question about it. I guess Doma can make one too. I think Doma's already made a religion check about this before, though, so that's kind of why I don't want to give him another one. Because I made you roll when I first told you about it in the first place, right?
It's possible.
Alright, well, fine. Roll again, Doma, and Oric roll again.
Okay.
You don't have
Yeah,
to.
Oric, you don't seem to really put it together at the moment.
23.
23. Whew,
Is that
holy
how you
shit.
spell that?
Just to help you out, it would be Veneria.
Pretty sure.
It's not wrong, okay.
Did Castle roll a nat?
Did I? Let
One
me
more
double
time,
check.
it's V-E-N what?
Let me double check. Sorry, I just don't want to. I'm pretty sure it's Veneehira. Venehira. Yeah, I was right. Okay. God, you guys made me doubt myself. I'm fucking the one who made it. Can't even remember my own. It's been a while since I made my pantheon though. That was fucking months ago. So there's within reason why I wouldn't remember it. Okay. All right. So that's what you. So at this moment, Oric, you don't know, but Doma, you right. What do you know about Venehira? Well, yeah, she's
She's the goddess of my hometown. I should know a few things.
All right. So. I mean, maybe not specifically your patron, but there it is talked about a lot there. Yes, her domains are not. She's not light and. She's not light. She's life. That's her domain. She rules. She reigns over life. One of your compatriots knows the deity that supposedly rules over light, but I'm not going to say more. Let's see. Through creation, mending, and these all fall primarily in her jurisdiction. Can't talk about that. She supposedly abides by universal laws. It's a universal moral compass that she believes, so all creatures should follow this in doing right and wrong, and there's a cosmic war of good versus evil. She's supposedly on the side of good, trying to support life, letting life live their life to what it should be, without interference from things that would try to corrupt that or usurp that. When torn between conflicting forces, she will often support the side that is most good or pure. So she tends to, at least that's what the doctrine, her dogma says, at least from those that you've seen. Innocence is to be protected. She loathes needless slaughter. And the forces of the abyss are her greatest enemy. They're the ones that want to destroy everything. It's chaos incarnate. So that would be the bane to her. And then you would actually know this, I guess, because you're 23. She is depicted as an angelic winged goddess with long white hair and pure white reins. At least that's what the books indicate
So
for
she
her.
looks a little like Aniele?
Yeah, I mean, angels are.
Roughly.
It's very similar. Yes, very very similar. Right.
Gotcha.
Oh. Sorry, I was just trying to see if I could actually.
You also know one more thing. Yeah, her symbol should be that of two white feathers overlapping each other. That's what her symbol. So you would recognize this symbol, and you should go, oh, that's the symbol of Venehira. Because a lot of the Palans and Veneer would be running around with this symbol plastered on them, or put in their pauldrons, or they wear it around their necks, or it's very common, as it's the most abundant Paladin deity.
This is true. God.
So just for sake of ease, we can just say you divulge all of that to everyone, or you can withhold if you'd like and say what you want to say. It's your choice.
Does Roderick know this?
We'll find out what what good old Domo tells us, because it could be really easy. You could say yes. So Domo, did you want to divulge everything or hold some of it back?
I vote everything.
Shut up.
Oh, wow.
Done right now. God damn. Basically, what I know about her from my hometown is, goodness, she hates the abyss and wants to protect life. God, it's been so long. She's depicted as an angelic being, long white hair, feathery wings.
Why does she come to your home?
I never learned the story, sadly. I was too busy trying to pass pretty much exams, I guess. She's always trying to fight. That's not your concern, sir. She always tries to follow.
Haname just like looks angry. Yeah. It's bad enough we have one idiot around here who
Rourke
confused me
says
to
maybe
an
if you didn't dress like a dyke, no one would confuse you.
Oh,
What?
Wow.
she
Is-
always
is-
wants to
is
fight
that-
a good fight.
That's not
Does
necessary.
Forrest really say that?
We're gonna assume that whenever you guys say something like this, it is actually canon from now on, right away. So we can stop having these
Yeah.
tangents go off on the side. So if you want to start doing jokes like that, you better stop because your characters are about to start saying that shit for real, okay? Because holy shit, I'm tired
Oh,
of
I
having
thought
to
it
say
was
it real.
canon.
So I'm gonna say that what he said would be a canon. This is the last case. So would you like to say it or not, Auric?
Sure, why not?
All right. So from here going forward, when you just say that joking, oh my character is gonna say this, it's your character saying it. All right. We're not gonna keep backpedaling this shit on it because it's kind of frustrating. Just a little.
It's getting frustrated itself. It's just, I agree.
Exactly. Thank you. You're such a good swell guy. All right. So anything else you want to talk about? Are you guys set?
Haname is just going to like stare at him angrily and kind of turn away.
I look at Roderick. I like, what the fuck?
You guys are.
Good now. I don't really know.
We shouldn't be
So,
fighting.
Oh,
We should be
yeah.
working together. I mean, Auric, you should probably apologize.
Sorry.
God, it's not even a
And
child.
Haname, when someone
I'm just-
apologizes,
I'm just
you
saying
normally
I'm
say,
tired of being incessantly called stupid, worthless, and blamed for every fuck up the group makes. But you're right. I'm sorry.
Who blames
right, and on that
what?
notion, we should stop belittling your accomplishments, shouldn't we all? And she turns to everyone. We're supposed to be working together. We're fighting very dangerous things. Something's afoot, and if we do things like that, we're only making enemies and making our lives harder. We should be working on teamwork.
Teamwork.
You're right, Neil. I'm sorry.
At Doma's little teamwork, just said like that, Haname is going to just like stare at him and try to keep a stone cold face, but kind of like pop a little bit of a smirk. Like he got her.
I try my best.
Oh, in the meantime, for this short rest, Broderick would do one, and we'll try to see if he can, you know.
Well, anyhow, as far as I know from.
Just interrupt Roderick.
I know, right?
Well, I was already doing all this. Technically, he's interrupting me. But
Conversation is organic. That it will happen, right? So, anywho, whoever wants to continue, I'm interrupting you now. I apologize.
I will see.
Well, are you doing an action or saying some things? Because you can do an action. Do the action if you're doing an action. That's interrupting my speech.
Oh my god!
I'm Canadian. What do you want from me?
Fucking Christ!
Someone else goes first. Anyway, anyhow, as far as I remember, she's depicted as an angelic goddess with long white hair and bright white wings.
I wasn't. Yeah. We don't need to explain it to me. I don't know if other people know about it. Yeah.
Sounds like you recognize her. I won't cry though. Okay, guys. What did you want to know exactly about her? I'll tell you what I can.
Anything.
Well, she's against the Abyss. I'm against the Abyss. Fuck those people.
You know, I think I'm gonna go take a walk. And she stands up and leaves the group. Still within eye shot, but she's not in close proximity. So about 60 feet away.
She's not leaving, she's just walking over there.
Yeah.
Like, we can still keep going.
Those with the dark vision can clearly see her. Those without dark vision, there's a slight silhouette barely at the cusp of your vision.
At this moment, I'm going to turn to Evelyn. She's alright, right? Like, there's nothing over there?
She's fine, yeah. There's nothing by her. She's just standing there.
It sounds like she's just not allowed to say things about that.
She's not allowed to talk about it, though.
She's really doing a lot of things she's not supposed to, so...
That's why I'm helping us. Let's not try too much and... Okay.
Speak quick, Joa.
Basically, her symbol, from what I saw around the city, was two white feathers overlapping each other. She's an angelic goddess, something like that. Long white hair, feathery wings, classic angel stuff. She wants to fight the good fight. She hates evil, hates the Abyss, because they're usually assholes that want to destroy anything living.
Right.
The question
They
is,
are
how do we
considered.
know? How do we know what she depicts as righteous and good?
She wants to fight the good fight.
Well,
She tries to protect. She tries to protect all life. She's the goddess of life.
I mean, you said this is where the paladins are from. This is kind of their.
This is that's my hometown. Yeah, that's the main patron. We all follow different ones, including me.
Right.
But she was basically the order I'm part of mainly follows her, as far as I can tell. I'm more partial to plants and good-natured things, but that's just me.
Oh, okay.
Roderick, you know her as well, you said?
Yes. I'm not sure if I can say much more than what Dolan has said. So,
The only tidbit I haven't told you is that she appeared in my hometown a long time ago and did something quite magical because, for God's sake, the entire town is kind of built around her being there. Like, that's why they made it there. So clearly she did something important.
so she said she appeared there. Said,
Yeah, physically, as far as I remember.
and may I ask what does she look like?
Basic angel, as far as I know, except for the defining features I know, is she has really white wings and long white hair.
I like it, Roderick. Does that mean something to you?
I may have a hunch.
Well, share your hunch. We're here for you, man.
Alright, so
We won't judge you. I mean,
alright, so in this case, kind of bug me that Aniele doesn't remember what happened prior to us pulling her out of the, basically getting her out of the necklace.
right.
So, if this is her matron or matron is what she sort, what if it was her that actually spoke to
My guess is
God, she
or
can-
it's possible
got to get her out.
She sounds like she's the great matron from what I've gathered.
So, do you think she was the one that was with us?
Or maybe
If she
sometime.
appeared in person, that would be interesting. My God.
I doubt it was her in person. Maybe it was,
I don't remember her having white hair.
or maybe she made something because that Aniele that was there, that was not a real living thing. It was just just energy.
Right.
Is it a shell or something?
But she could have been the hand that made that
Yes, possibly could have made it and then moved it
to help us get to her.
for us to
From
get
what
her.
I gather, it doesn't
Makes
sound.
sense.
She's your class.
Oh, but this is confusing because she's, from what I understand, she's supposed to be basically a non-interventionist.
Then again, with
Who knows, something quite catastrophic could have been happening.
also, as far as the fake Aniele went, wanting us to get to the tree that had the hieroglyphs in it.
Well, then it was
Could
Could
that
that have actually? Could that not have also just been Rukon trying to draw us in so that way he could leave?
Well, we can
Well,
speculate all we
that
want.
dream could have been different because that was Oric. Only Oric saw that whole thing. So it could be two different, it could be multiple things at play here. But either way, we found her, we saved her. But now what? Is she going to be here to help us defeat the orcs? What is the end game?
So.
I think something a lot bigger than orcs happened to draw around the last time. Again, I'd have to kind of get in touch with my mentor or something. If I want to learn more of that. You would definitely know.
We'll just play it by ear now, okay, guys?
Yeah, that's more just
Now
just
play
a
it by
hypothesis.
ear. The more we try to sit here and think about every little thing in a situation like this,
We don't
all
know.
it's going to do is impede our progress.
Right.
Keep going. We'll find
But
out.
at least we know, as far as we know, that good chances are that she's not a bad person or evil or any of those things, which is a good thing because it's good to have that knowledge.
It doesn't hurt to know what we're making progress towards.
Right.
I'm just afraid that someday it might show up where it's like, well, since we're trying to fight the orcs, both sides could be considered evil since it is two sides fighting to kill each other.
That's just war in general, though. It's not necessarily a good and, good or bad war.
But aren't
It
the
depends
orcs-
on the justification for war.
Aren't the orcs using like bad magic and like stuff like that? I don't remember.
Necrotic magic in and of
They're using
itself,
like necromancy, aren't they, and shit like that?
necromancy in and of itself as magic isn't evil. It's mostly those who use it tend to do that. I mean, from the bard college that I came from, there were those who knew necromancy. They just didn't delve too deep.
Well, everyone has a good and a bad side. I mean, there's really no arguing that. So
Necromancy itself isn't evil. Not all orcs are evil either.
I never said they were.
I'm just saying it's one of those things where there's good and bad on both sides. I'm just afraid that one day this goddess might actually see both sides of evil. See the evil on both sides and
Well,
give face solely on it.
Let's not try to think about what a god might decide because really,
Yeah,
kind
don't think of the God decides that we're just
of
going to disappear.
So let's just focus on the here and now, and let's try to get to Medan. Go left, not right,
Sounds
and
good to me.
see where that takes us. One step at a time. But I do agree, we need to start working together as a team, not going off half-cocked or trying to chase things or whatever. We need to work together to try to solve things. I do agree with that.
Well, guys, I guess. No, let's decide. Let's go fetch Aniele and keep going.
Or keep that, mate.
Yeah, maybe let's do it.
Walk over to Aniele.
You
Tell me about the
were-
uncomfortable location.
Yeah. Are we ready to continue? Are you guys rested?
As far as I know. Aren't we?
Well, let's go find out. You and her head back to the rest of the group, and
That's the DM.
what are you trying
What's
to?
it long enough, DM?
What are you trying to accomplish? A short rest?
Yeah, short rest.
Short rest is accomplished. A conversation with 30 minutes, sure.
It really was.
During that, Roderick, though, you try to. I'm reading your chat. You tried to port Krista to you, yeah?
Yep. I mean, on the low, I've been meaning this kind of insane and trying that occasionally.
Okay.
When he's just in.
You try to port her from the pocket dimension, and you feel no connection.
Did you try to put her in first?
And it does hit a really soft spot right now because, you know, I mean, it's a recent loss, and, you know, normally you could just be like, come here, right? Like, this is one of those things where when you run around your house and you have a lost one that oh, they would just be right there. They'd be standing right there. Oh, they'd be right here on my shoulder. And it reminds you of, like, how easy it was in the past, and that now you don't have it at all. And it brings sorrow upon you.
Did he make it obvious that's what he was trying to do, is spoof?
I'm gonna assume he was trying to weave it in. It's not like a huge hand gesture. It's a mental thing. He can just pull her in. So, and there was a conversation going, and he was using lows to try to do it at the same time, kind of thing. So I'm not. You don't know he was trying to do it, but his current demeanor he's hunched a little bit. His body kind of pulls in a little. He seems slightly depressed, at least for the next minute or so.
What's up?
You ready?
Wait. Yeah.
Do you need another couple of minutes? We can wait another couple of minutes.
No, let's go. Not just.
Well, so that's the question. Where did you guys decide where we're going? Are we going back, or are we
into Medan?
So are we gonna trust what the Doma was saying?
Well, it's something about a great catacombs the wrong way. I'd like to avoid that.
It may take us. Could take us days to get back the other way, just to clear that crevice we went through.
So let's keep going, I guess. I technically said it was a few hours late from what I remember.
Yeah, you did.
Alright.
Let's keep going.
Alright. The way to.
So, just a reminder, while we're traveling, you're allowed to interrupt me to have dialogue amongst yourself. Just say, hey, I'd like to talk to blank, or pull someone to the side. So you're free to interrupt me during travels. I'm not going to get mad at you. You guys continue moving forward to the direction that the possessed Doma was running. You're currently in a relatively, so you're next to a wall right now, but you kind of back off and you go back towards the middle, and feeling that it's probably safer more in the middle than on the edge. So I'm just going to drive your tokens and help indicate that for you. So you kind of move your way back down to where you guys originally were, theoretically, in the longitude, and start continuing that direction. It's relatively quiet. Every now and then you hear a drip or a drop, the pling sound hitting some water nearby. You guys pass occasional puddles here and there. There's stalagmites. There's the inverse of them. I can't remember their name right now for some damn reason.
Stalactites.
Yeah, so whatever. The ones that come up and the ones that go down.
There's stalactites.
You see shadows kind of dancing on the wall. You guys are using light spells to help move yourself forward, be it dancing lights or actually cutting light cantrips, whatever it is. No torches necessary for now. And you guys stay in a cohesive unit as you move forward. A couple hours go by, or about 3 hours go by, and you start noticing that the cave you're in, this big expanse, is starting to shrink down. So it feels like you're kind of ending at least this chasm portion of it anyways. And that's when fatigue starts hitting you. Despite your rest, if you add up the total amount of hours you guys have been relatively awake, we're practically pushing that point where you would be actually wanting to go to sleep naturally. We've gone to that point where it's about time to do an actual long rest. Not much has happened in between here and there. Nothing seems to really stand out to you. Or if you did try to keep your eye out for things that could be potentially valuable to you, you can make a nature check.
Okay.
Why are you making a nature check? You didn't see anything.
Or can make the nature check.
Would I be able to be looking for nice things along the way, like I usually do?
Stones and gems? Yeah, you may roll one with disadvantage. Yeah, I know, I'm punishing
Yeah, I'm
you.
using it with dark vision, so I don't mind.
I'm rolling. I know it's not the dark vision. I'm just saying with disadvantage. You need to roll disadvantage for a reason I can't explain. But 19 for Kessel.
Let's see. What am I placing on this?
It is a yours is a nature check, so it's whatever your nature is, man, which is based off of int, but you could be proficient with it.
I don't know. I got a 10. It's the halfway point.
10. Yeah. You see a couple. There are those green crystals that you wanted to loot earlier. But
Do they look
at periodic breaks where your group is stopping, you try to pry one out again without doing it, but you never manage to harvest it. It's this forever this little lure that you want so badly, but you just can't seem to find a way to grab it. So ultimately, you don't find any other valuable gems or anything that seems to stand out towards jewel crafting. You're the one that has the necklace, though, right? Just to try to remind myself.
Yes.
Correct, but it's partially broken. All right, good. I remember now. Okay.
We mended it, didn't we? Only the gem was broken.
All right. That's part of the
Gem was
necklace.
chipped or something.
Gem was
Yeah, the gem
shattered
was smashed.
into
Fine.
dust.
We
Yeah,
got
it's
three-quarters of it.
there's
I
nothing.
mended the rest of it.
Right, you have like a small, like little dark piece of what it was as a separate gem, and then you have the necklace. Okay. All right. So Oric, for you, 19. That would be you find some rabbit's paw. During one of your breaks, you checked underneath the stone, then you find some rabbit's paw.
Bingo.
Yeah. That's it. You should have some of this before, I believe, but it's a fungus. Effective.
We had something that was dried out.
Okay, this is not. This is fresh. It's a fungus that tends to grow on deceased things. You're not sure what it's really growing on in this environment, but for some reason it's growing on a rock. It's very fluffy. It's white. That's kind of why it's called rabbit's paw. It seems to have like a fur almost effect to it. And when you like harvest it, it kind of looks like a rabbit's paw if you like dismembered a rabbit, basically.
Oh.
That's not bloody, but I mean it has that look almost.
It's got a bloody kind of like.
It just oozes it, and like you can hear the rabbit screeching its high pitched screech every time you right.
Oh God, no.
Okay, so you don't find a lot though. It's a hard herb to find even in the environment you're in. You only find 1 pound, but it's more than nothing. So there you go.
How much? Sorry.
I'm sorry, not 1 pound, 1 ounce. Good catch. Yeah, that would be a lot. You're right. Good. Thank you for double checking that. I can.
15 pounds of Monterey Jack.
30 pounds, but it's really hard to find, okay?
All right, 1 ounce. That's what you found. So it's a little couple bits of it. All right, and then you guys theoretically you don't have to break camp, but you're at that point where you.
If we're doing it along, okay, yeah.
It's your choice. You don't have to stop. You guys are all to push based on your own time limits. I'm just saying that you're near that point where you would consider it because you've gone on effectively for a day.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think we should probably take a break, guys. I found this rabbit paw. I can probably make something useful with it.
Food.
We have food.
We have.
I still got a couple pounds of pork.
Yeah, we still got pork.
We don't have anything to make a fire though, do we? We don't have any wood.
Hey,
There's plenty of torches.
At this moment,
cooking based off of them. Try and check for it.
So there's nothing that there is no actual stat for cooking. It's whatever Dean's description.
There should be though.
Yeah, there should be, but I tend to use wisdom is what I usually use. It's like what are you familiar with based off of just how much experience you have, like what seasonings you should use. And,
Describe it really well.
I mean, so there are some cooking that require dexterity. There are some cooking that would require just base intelligence on the chemist, and there's some cooking that is based off of just your general experience. In general, I use cooking off of wisdom.
Alright. I shouldn't be cooking.
It just depends. Well, I mean, you could still try. It just might not come out a miraculous chef-style
My
hors
wisdom isn't the greatest either, but I'll get
None of your
I don't know
characters,
if I
none of your characters are wisdom-based characters. The one wisdom, I'm sorry, there's one wisdom-based character, but it's an NPC. So,
and I doubt she knows.
I doubt she knows how to cook.
so she just. Would you guys would like a fire? I could go try to see if I can find some wood Her voice tailors off as she realizes there's probably not a lot of trees in the area.
No, we probably should grab some wood on, before we came into this big hellhole, so,
A little bit.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't remember what's in my inventory. Look.
We have a shit ton of torches, we have candles, but I don't think we can cook meat on candles.
Are we trying to cook meat? I can create, maybe not the most palatable food, but I can create food.
We have other foods, we just wanted some fresh food. We have our what do you call it? We have our rations.
If we can get by without that, you dipping into that, shouldn't we?
Yeah, let's just have a ration. Well, if we're gonna go to bed, we can eat in the morning, right?
I don't know, are we hungry right now, Alex?
So, you guys started this day off with Aniele providing you a meal in the morning.
Right.
You guys ate her fruit, effectively, was what she spawned. It's sweet-ish, but it's definitely not the most brilliant fruit in the world.
It's like berry on steroids.
Yeah, it's more of it's kind of mushy. It's a general fruit. But
Tastes like you would get it from the Whole Foods section.
but it's edible, and when you're hungry, you don't really give it a shit, and it has water in it, so it also helps cleanse dehydration.
If we're going to rest, she can make it tonight, I guess. We can just eat it tonight, and then we'll be good until tomorrow.
It only lasts for so long, so it tends to be used in the meal you eat it for. But she can create it, kind of thing. It's possible.
Right.
It just
Why
she's offering it to you, so you guys could partake in it for the meal right now, or you could go ahead.
I guess my question is, if we eat once a day, like how many times are we eating a day?
So typically, if you're using a ration, it's one ration for a full day is what I do. For her food, though, how long is it actually? I need to look this up. Either it lasts 8 hours or it lasts 1 hour. But the thing is that it spawns a fair amount, and usually you just abandon what you don't eat because, in general, you don't.
Yeah, it's someone's
Let's stay good until morning is my question if she makes it now.
Right, I'll find out.
I know I can learn that spell.
Doma picks it up, starts to take a bite. The second his teeth touch it, it rots. Oh.
What?
Just in the morning, it's like one of us just starts to pick up a piece, and the second we bite, it rots.
And yuck.
Pretty
Actually, if it spoils, I can just purify it.
Oh no.
That's not how this works, though. So create food and water. You create 45 pounds of food and 30 gallons of water on the ground or in containers within range. Enough of it sustain up to 15 humanoids or 5 seeds for 24 hours. The food is bland but nourishing and spoils if uneaten after 24 hours. The water is clean and doesn't go bad. So the water theoretically lasts forever, but the food only lasts. So the food can last for 24, but it spawns 45 pounds of food. Now she's not. You could. I let you choose how much you spawn, so you don't just make a bunch of it go to waste. But so she'll spawn enough to feed you guys, and then that's basically what it is. So
it'll be available in the morning.
So it would be available in the morning. Technically, you guys could have some left over now. I guess ultimately she has this. She has the spell available, so she can cast it once a day, or she can cast it multiple times.
Well, if you guys want something fresh, I guess we can do that. We're gonna rest. We're gonna sleep, so she can recoup it.
Let's eat now and in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Sure.
another cast
So,
would enjoy that.
fruit again. Is that okay with everyone?
It's fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Thank you, Aniele.
You're the best.
And she waves her hands. You're her practically singing in celestial, and then several apples, pears, and arrangements of fruits. But the variety doesn't really change too much on the flavor or the texture. There's a couple citruses of oranges and grapefruits, but just for an attempt at a transient variety. She also, with it, because it also creates water, you guys can refill your canteens, effectively.
I'm doing that.
I don't think we've drank any of them.
Right, we're assuming you're drinking on the side.
I assume we drink
I
it throughout
don't
the
really
walk.
stress water
Yeah.
terribly much. And even food, I usually only really stress it when you're in an environment when there is
Would
zero.
this still be classed as purified water?
Her water is pure
It's
clean.
clean,
Her water is
yeah.
clean. It comes
Clean
pure.
water. Your water,
I'll
don't
just leave the purified there.
So, at that mind, so you guys can all refill any canteens, which you probably haven't subtracted, but your canteens are all restored direct to full because it's 30 fucking
Done and
gallons,
done.
and there's
I'm
enough
going to
food
fill up
for
both of mine.
there's enough food for tonight and tomorrow, and I mean, tonight and tomorrow, basically until tomorrow before it then just dies. So there you go. All right, so you
Thank
cast
you,
spell.
Aniele.
Thanks, Aniele.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So are we going to bed now? Is that the plan?
A nice rest sounds about right. I feel like I should sleep off this freaking hangover that I don't have.
I'll take first watch.
I'll take first watch.
Rip.
Try to.
You both
try-
could watch. You don't have to. I mean, we have
I was
enough
gonna
that
say,
we can
like,
still
I was gonna
organize.
Contact Quack, or attempt to at least.
We can do that anytime in the night game.
Well,
Well, he needs to do it before he finishes his rest.
I can
So
take
how do you
any.
do it first?
I can take any watch that you would guys like. So
I was not cool with that. I'll take third watch.
we have 6 of us. Do you guys just want to do 2 people on watch for each shift?
Sounds good for me.
We could do shorter watches. That way, if somebody has to get woken up, they can still get in their full rest.
True.
True.
You know,
If you want first, I'll take second. I guess I'll wake up
Sure,
Aniele,
I'll do
then Evelyn after that, Doma, and then
Alright, so we're doing short watches, but a lot of us are going.
yeah,
All of us basically are taking a turn.
yep.
I guess.
oh man, what a very annoying thing for the DM. But whatever you guys want.
Yeah, that's probably very
Oh,
good.
yeah.
All right, so who's going? So I mean, Aniel's not going first, and so that completely relying on you guys waking her up when you organized her
I'll
shift.
go
So,
third, I guess.
so Roger
I'm
goes first.
or Rod's first. Hannes,
Yeah. So as soon as Roger goes first, he takes it from there, and he wakes up who he wants to wake up, provided he remembers. So
Yep.
yeah. All right, so we go to bed, but Roderick, you stay awake.
Oh crap.
All right, Roderick.
You got this.
Yeah, as we kind of bunker down and light spells start diminishing, make a perception check.
Oh boy.
Rip. Huh, you're already dead.
You just haven't received it yet.
Perception.
Yeah.
Nani?
Perception.
Don't stay.
That is a 18.
All right. As you're listening out into the darkness and trying to see within 60 feet with your dark vision, you hear a couple little bloops of splashing in water and drops out there. And you also just barely hear something, and you're not fully sure if you actually did. Maybe somebody's playing a trick on you, but you hear, "Why'd you leave me?"
Oh man! Panic attack!
No.
Damn, this microphone must be really damn good. I try to make that really fucking quiet.
Oh man!
I was expecting what did you say? I'm like, I can't say it again, but apparently you clearly heard it.
No. It was spooky.
Volume up really loud.
Sure, well, so you heard, you think you heard it, you're questioning it, but
Oh man! It's depressing as fuck!
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Gotta change my voice real quick. I didn't mean to.
I didn't mean to. I mean, I didn't mean to, honey.
Is that you, Krista?
boop, water droplets. You wait for a
Krista.
minute, there's no reply.
Krista.
Silence.
Please, just talk to me if you can, please. There.
And a party member breaks.
It was only
He has a heart attack and dies.
Too spoofy?
Krista. Please.
All I hear is scrubbing.
Oh shit, sorry.
I thought that was Roderick like rubbing his own arm to try to like show nervousness. You know, he's like scratching like.
I mean, that works. That works.
I totally. That's what I was here. That's what my image was, him like being very nervous, and shifty eye, and like scratching his arm really violently to the point where he would maybe start getting some blood splattering out of it because he's just so fucking nervous. But okay, yeah, there's no reply. So you know, like 10 minutes go by, and now you're just really doubting if what you heard. You know, it's definitely got you on edge. An hour goes by, about another 30 minutes, and you approach that 2-hour mark, and you know, technically it's time to wake someone else up.
All right. He would make his way towards Hame. And nudge her awake. Like, hey.
My turn.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Alright. Anything happen?
He would look at her, and his eyes would shift to the ground before coming back in. It's like nothing that really matters. I'm just gonna go to bed. Okay.
Roger,
Hey, shit, sorry.
if you ever need to talk, let me know. Okay?
Yeah. Thanks.
Hey, I just realized since I thought I was on mute when I was scrubbing, probably actually on mute when. Did you hear me say that I wanted to infuse long strider on boots again?
Nope.
Oh,
Shit.
Rip.
R.I.P.
Alright. Oh,
Sorry, mate.
no, that's fine. Don't sweat it.
RIP, does that mean RIP IP address or?
Rest in peace. That's a League of Legends. But anyways,
It's not a League of Legends thing.
it was very popular from what's his face, Wings of Death, and they got that jungler from TSM, Ripperoni.
Alright, well, Amane's going to come out of her tent, and she's going to
Tent?
cast-
You actually have a tent?
Whatever.
Really? What?
Whatever. And, whatever.
She fucking like everyone else is like pulling out these crappy blankets and stuff, and she's like busting the tent out. Can you help me pin this part down? Thank you, you guys sleep well, Zip.
Yep.
You just like she's in a tent.
I just made a tent out of like an extra, like out of clothes.
blanket. Fancy clothes, or the common clothes.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like held up by the dagger in the back and the rapier in the
You know
front.
what, Hannah May, you do you. Work it, girl.
Go.
Alright, well, she's going to come out of her bed, and she's going to cast dancing lights in a way as to not, like, basically flood their light, or their faces with light.
Yeah, it's a very dim light. It's a dim light anyways. It's very short range. So you can definitely avoid blinding
And
people.
then basically just make it where I have, like, every 20 feet there's one of the 4 dots, so it's like 100-foot range of just dim light.
As long as they daisy chain correctly. But yeah, I gotcha. Okay. With that moving, is there anything you want to do with the time, or just want to watch?
I'm just trying to keep, like, a really nice watch out.
Okay, make a perception roll.
There we go. That is a 12.
It's quiet. Every now and then you hear a peen and a ploop of a drop, but that's it. Several hours. You're about approximate. It's not quite 2 hours, but your end of your shift ends, and you could wake someone else up if you would like to.
In that case, I'm going to go approach Oric and kind of like poke him awake.
Hey, what?
You said you want a third watch?
Already? Okay. Thanks.
Alright, nothing happened on mine.
Nothing? Alright.
No, just
Thanks.
you may want to make sure you have some sort of light. As she like slinks into her bed, starts to pass out, the dancing lights disappear.
Yep. ping, ping, ping. Each one fades, and now you're in darkness.
Alright, I will grab a torch.
Alright, you find your pack, you find your torch, and you find whether you use a way to light it yourself or tinderbox or whatever you want, and you strike it, and then you have light. A little orange hue floats out into the dark expanse, kind of providing a little bit of comfort to yourself.
Right.
Anything you'd like to do with your theoretical watch?
I'll take a couple minutes and since I'll just cast Long Strider and jump on my boots again.
Okay. This will.
Just deciding if it takes away from your next day or not.
Yep, exactly.
I understand. That's fine. Either way, I'm doing it. I don't care.
Sure. Yeah, I would still say it will.
No, I understand. I didn't. You didn't hear me say it, so.
Yeah. All right. So you enchant your boots. When you want to activate them, they can trigger the effects for the durations. So they're not on them. It's prepared to do it when you want it to do it. You do that. Okay. Anything else?
Just keep an ear out.
Make a perception roll.
Okay, let me do that.
As he tries to perceive, he literally cuts off an ear and throws it out there.
We all like, oh, what happened? I said I was going to keep an ear.
18 total.
Correct.
That was a 17. What's your perception?
I've only got a +1.
Ouch.
Give me a second, please.
My inspection, and I've got a lot of other useful ones, but perception is not. Like, I don't catch stuff very well, but once I see it, it's like, I got it.
Seriously, give me a second. I'm sorry. I thought I had this written down somewhere else.
You gotta look up what a number Hulk is. I get it. It's fine.
Fuck that.
He's like, that's funny because it's true. Holy hell, screaming.
So as you listen out there, and you're trying to look for shadows, and you hear planes and poops of water here and there splashing. You hear a familiar sound. Like it doesn't last very long, but it's like a chemical or like a liquid inside a vial being stirred and shaken, and it kind of floods in your head memories of the alchemy you used to basically do back in the plants. And for a brief moment, and you kind of shake yourself out of it, like, wait, did I just hear that?
At which point, I go over and I shake Roderick. And I say, hey, it's starting, man.
Yeah.
I know you need your sleep.
Yeah.
Did you hear anything at first watch?
Well, just some dripping of water. Are you hearing something strange necessarily?
I mean, not necessarily. I've been hearing water drips too, and I heard something that kind of like sounded like something slushing around. It didn't sound like water. It sounded more like chemical. And I'm starting to get worried. I don't know if like that ooze is going to show back up, or if I'm just dreaming of stuff. Did you hear anything besides the water?
Well, yes.
Oh shit! What?
I heard. I heard Krista.
Fuck, man, I'm sorry. Damn it. But nothing. I'm sorry. I know that's like not
honestly, I think the cursed thing kind of spooked me more than anything.
No, I get it. Alright, sorry, go back to bed.
All right. Good night. Good night.
And then I will just pay extra close attention for the rest of my watch.
Okay. Your shift ends, you can wake up the next person, because everyone wants this stupid shift.
He's like, just make it end.
I'm like grinding my teeth.
At which point I wake up Evelyn, okay.
Alright, Evelyn, you're stirred awake.
What?
Hey, sorry.
Hey.
Hey,
What's
I'll
up?
sleep down here, but, you're just so you know that I, like, pay really close attention. I think I heard something, I don't know.
What? What'd you hear?
We've been hearing a lot of, like, water drips and stuff in this area, right? Well,
Right.
when we first ran into that ooze, it also had, like, dripping water into a pool. And then I heard something that, like, it wasn't dripping water, it was more of, like, a chemical kind of sloshing.
Like a potion?
Yeah, I mean, it almost sounded like something more viscous. It wasn't a water sound. But anyway, definitely.
Did anyone else hear anything on their watches?
Nothing like that. No.
Okay.
So just keep an eye out, or ear out for it. And if you have anything,
Okay.
just wake me up.
Sounds good.
Okay, you're in.
Alright. I'll cast light on my staff, I guess. And try to like stand so I'm not like in anyone's face. Or like sit somewhere that's not.
Yeah, you basically have to go about 20 feet out, but you can do it. That way there's not a bright light looming over the entire group.
I just don't want to go too far that I can't see them either.
Well, yeah, the light, it's 20 light foot, so you can be at that point where it's not bright light on them, which kind of is irritating, but,
Right.
so that's 20 feet out, and you can do, like, circles around there if you want, and you move out there, alright?
Sure.
Perception roll.
$22.
Alright.
There's like the magic number.
Okay, so you like make your rounds and listening out at the same time. Hear peens and poops of water, and you hear giggling for about a second or two. Very, very familiar giggling. Very nostalgic. Brings you way back when you were maybe 5 to 6. A very close individual to you.
Yes.
It's for
It stirs a specific memory of you telling this individual a joke, and she laughed at it as you guys were at a family dinner together with everyone else.
No. I just kind of shake my head, like, thinking that I'm just imagining things. Can't be right. What?
And then 30 minutes go by, you don't hear it, you're listening for that or something like that again, nothing goes by, and technically there's another shift if you want to wake them up.
I will wake up Doma.
Oh, hello.
Ohio.
Yeah.
It's your turn. Just so you know, we've been hearing some things. Like, yeah, there's water, blah, 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 whatever. We're underground. But, just be careful and, yeah.
Alright.
If you need to wake someone up, just wake someone up. I mean, Have I had my 4 hours? Like, could I sip if I wanted?
Oh, you could have totally stayed up if you wanted. That's every single time you guys could choose to not partake in a watch and just suck it up and go the entire night. And
No, but I mean, have I had my 4 hours of rest?
You have. You could. Yeah. You definitely have had your 4 hours rest. You could stay awake, or you could go back to
It's been
meditating.
over 5.
So your choice, Evelyn.
I'm gonna try to get some more sleep, but if you need me, you can wake me up. Just don't wake up anyone else. They need their rest.
Alright, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
So dreams. As he slowly sits up.
I just shiver.
Looks around the cave.
Alright, Doma. You can make a perception roll. There's no immediate light. All light fades, but you have dark vision for 60 feet. You can light a source if you want or not.
18 plus. What the fuck is my perception? Pretty sure it's that high. It is. It's -1. So, 17.
Oh, 17?
Oh!
Alright, so you listen out into the darkness. Drips of water. You feel some wind going by. It's cold, it's cool, it's relatively quiet. Nothing else really hits your senses. About an hour later, technically there's one more shift that you could throw if you would like to do it.
Who's the last shift? That's any hour. Lash, right? No, Lash went.
I'm just gonna get on it, yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll just stick with it.
Right?
You could wake me up too.
I could.
So Doma, you're just gonna hold out for the rest of the shift?
Yeah, I don't see the point to wake someone else.
Alright.
Might as well just let the angels sleep.
So then you go the remaining hour, and at that point you feel like, yeah, this is about a full night's rest. Alright, we can probably wake everyone up now.
Is perception really wisdom?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, that's gross.
You're gross.
I am. I have a -1 to that.
Yeah, and that was the difference.
Yeah, fucking 18 is the mark, I know.
It's okay, over half the party fucking got it, god damn it. Because you all fucking wanted to go, for fuck's sake. Well, so do you wake everyone else up, or do you just keep letting them slumber? Because they could keep going, you know, some people can sleep for hours and hours and hours.
It's not really feel like we're in that much of a rush. But I'll wake everyone up.
Okay. Who do you wake up first?
Let's see, Eve told me she wanted to be up first. Wake up Eve first.
Alright. You
Evelyn.
go up to Evelyn and
The morning yet?
Maybe.
I guess it's morning as it can be.
You don't have to know. Maybe.
Alright. Time to get up, I guess, huh?
Yeah. A bright new mystery day or night.
Alright, let's get the rest of these guys up.
You might want to put on a light. I can see, but it's pretty dark for everyone else.
Alright. I would cast light on my step.
Alright, Evelyn, who are you waking up? And Doma, who are you waking up?
I'm gonna wake up Roderick.
Alright, Roderick by Evelyn.
Wake up our
Sleep.
angel.
Okay, you go up to Aniele.
Time to get up.
Oh no. I mean, in an
Yeah.
hour.
Time to get up. And I rustle her shoulder a little bit.
Is it my time for watch now?
No, I just let everyone sleep because it was
She gives you a knowing smile immediately as she knows that you did not wake her up.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know, and she whispers this to you so no one else can hear. In case you didn't know, angels don't have to sleep at all. So I watched. I saw everything all night.
Oh shit.
Others said they were hearing things. Did you hear any of it?
So that was what's going on, huh? Hmm. And she's like rubbing her chin. Anyways, the others, we should get them up before the food goes bad.
Yeah, totally. He laughs a little to himself. Well, tried.
So Aniele walks over to Haname, and I assume Roderick or Evelyn wake up Auric, yeah?
Nope, Roderick's still asleep. Trying to sleep.
I thought she woke you. Oh, you. Oh my god.
He wants to play.
5 more minutes, Mom!
Alright, come on.
Wait, plenty of water.
Time to get up. So before the food goes bad, we need to eat.
You're getting food now.
So, Aniele's fine. Me up now.
I'll let Roderick finish their scene, man.
Okay.
Whatever.
You just like
It's not gonna make a difference. Dark here.
You're right.
I mean, it's nighttime out there.
You're completely disillusioned.
I
We're
guess.
we're like day.
Woke up on the wrong side of the bedroll.
I'm just
Sorry, and I just
kind of dreadful sleep.
go over and wake up Oric.
What?
Morning, well. Yeah, sure. Good morning.
Can't be here, right?
Right.
You guys like every single one of you that said this comment. You like look up at the like towards the where the sky would be, and it's just darkness up there.
Man, this is gonna get
You're on day 2, and you're already getting discombobulated from the lab. Basically, you don't know, and you know it's you can already tell it's slightly affecting your psyche. Like you know you're not used to this environment. You're used to being out in sunlight, the warmth. It's cold. It's dark, and then some of you witness some things, and you're just like you're getting that notion that your body is starting to get stressed on the environment.
I'm used to this kind of environment.
So it's getting a little draining. Some of you, those of you that heard things, have a little bit of baggage under their eyes, a little bit of some dark circles. Not super prominent, but they're kind of forming. If people were really intimate with you, they would know that there's something a little off about you right now. Which obviously I don't think anyone really is intimate with anyone else yet, so it's not really noticeable yet. But if someone was, they would be a family member would be like, well, you don't look so good. Haname, you are stirred awake. Aniele like kneels down and like rubs your shoulder. Like, are you time to get up, Haname?
She stands up, stretches really wide, just opens up her mouth.
Pop down your spine.
That's so good.
Reroll every roll for the rest.
Do all of your kind have the ability to unhinge their jaws like that?
Just the dragons. We kind of have to open wide as to not burn our tongues whenever we breathe elements.
Interesting. Everyone, that food is where we left it. I enjoy.
I'll grab a pear.
You grab your assortment of fruit, which you're gonna want to eat. No, she's gonna make a pomegranate.
Only dragon fruit.
Too exotic.
Taking the oranges then.
But you grab handfuls of fruit, be it whatever fucking fruit it may be, and eat.
Has to be citrus, damn it.
It's dragon fruit. Like we're staring at each other.
Alright, so at that moment, light cantrips are cast, at least from Aniele. She casts light cantrip on,
My dad has it.
yeah, she'll cast it on,
Or Doma, actually, do you want light on your shield? Are you gonna go up front, I guess?
He looks over at Aniele. Normally she provides a few of that.
well, it doesn't have to be me. I mean, I don't want to show like I have favorites. Here, Auric, and she walks up to Auric, and she casts light on Auric's,
Maybe I'll cast like... He's glowing.
On Oryx, like she takes like Oryx's right wrist and she like casts like on his glove basically. So his right glove is producing light.
I cast mine on Rogue's shield.
Spins it around a little bit. Cool.
Are you ready to continue, or is there anything you guys would like to discuss?
Well, did anyone hear that, like, I don't know, sloshing noise last night?
I didn't hear anything.
No.
The water just hidden or something different?
No,
I heard.
This was like, it was like a chemical sloshing sound.
I can always check if something's nearby.
I heard my sister giggling.
At this moment, honestly, Roderick, when you woke me up last night, you did look like something was amiss. Did you hear something?
Somewhat.
Roderick, what is it? What is it?
I heard Krista.
At this moment, Hame is just going to be like a little bit withdrawn, just like in a oh, I'm sorry.
Shouldn't have mentioned that.
You didn't mean to pry.
Hello, Mine Turtle.
Did anyone else hear things?
Sadly, I didn't hear anything. I could always check if something's nearby, though.
All I heard was the water.
Alright.
Well, just like this same stuff happened right before we were like running up on Rubin, so obviously something's wrong, guys.
I guess I should give it a check. And, going to cast Divine Sense.
You cast Divine Sense.
That's the best I can do.
You smell something so sweet. So sweet. Like the sweetest flower you've ever smelled before in your life. And you hear like a choir just very faintly in your ear. But nothing else registers on you. You know there's a celestial within 60 feet of you.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was her.
Hey, I'm telling you what the spell does, and that's all you trigger.
God, you know, what's that? It's a sweet smell when I use that ability.
I'm sorry. She like takes a step. She takes a step back from you. Like I'm totally getting like a One Piece moment, like where Sanji like he sniffs women. You're just like over her shoulder, and she's like, "What the fuck?"
At this moment, Hame is going to make eye contact with Evelyn and just like kind of do the whole quick little two eyebrows raise real quick, just like
Don't you're both one nasty. Good for you.
seems someone may have a new goddess to worship soon.
Right. Let's get going, everyone. And Aniele awkwardly, like she starts like marching off into the darkness. Those of you that have decent perception, those of you that
Dude, keep it cool.
who's got good passive perception?
Yeah, what is good?
Alright, so everyone besides Doma, because he's got a 9! Everyone else is a 15 or higher. And you can see like Aniel's ears are bright red, and there's flesh in her face. It was very awkward for her there. Alright.
I don't know that she's been flirted with before. Okay.
Divine Sense makes me smell great. Can I say that?
Wow.
Alright, so our group moves forward. Did anyone grab any remaining fruit from the pile just to have fruit on them for the rest of the day? I would hope you did, but...
I did. I grabbed a couple of
Alright.
Just nibble one on the
So
way.
just keep in mind that that fruit will expire in evening, basically, when we go for our next rest. So it lasts for the majority of the day, so you can be snacking on it periodically throughout.
Just a little here and there.
Alright, so you guys continue forward. Yes, and at that moment, we're going to go ahead and take our break, everyone, because we're at the 9 o'clock part. So